You know, those honey. Okay, anyway, door number 3. That's a cool name. Highlander, what's going on? Alrighty. Kevin, what's up? What's up, Bob? Bob? Oh, hey, good name. Hey, Reggie Bo Jackson. What's happening, dude? Haven't heard from you in a while. Old dogs in the house. Cheers, what's going on? All right. All that being said, good evening, everyone. My name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by The 10-Minute Trader, where I invest in dividend stocks for weekly cash flow, take you along for the ride. How you keeping, James? I'm doing wonderful, Reg. Thank you. I'm looking for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. Apple, we're going to take a look at Apple in a little bit, Kev. Sit tight. Chez Du, what's happening? Bonjour, comment ça va toujours? Bonsoir. Ça va bien, no? Highlander, what's going on? Blockchain Crusader. Cool beans. Alrighty. Highlander, you need to hold a stock for a month to reap dividends. Absolutely not. 1 to 2 days, that's about it. Christian, how are you doing today? Chez Du, wow, great. Alrighty. All right. Larray, good evening, Larray, good evening. Hyrule, Jay, what's going on? I think I said hi to everybody so far. Bobo, Little Devil in Bobo. What movie was that? That was John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. Who else was in that movie? With, what's her name? I'm interested in your techniques. Highlander, good evening. Now, Highlander, if you want to have a chat, drop me a DM with your phone number. I'll give you a buzz. Mike, what's happening, Mr. Mike? Thank you. FC Mobile. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Nope, that wasn't the movie. Because, it was in, Banker. Chevy Chase was in it. There was Chevy Chase, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. What's her name? That chick. She married Ashton Kutcher. You can follow back and start interacting with them. Cool. Not now. All right, not now to that. Yeah, FC. Am I a trader? Yes, I am. Derek, what's going on? Mila, good evening. Nope, it wasn't Mila. I'm trying to figure out what it was. They were traveling to Pennsylvania in a BMW. Korat, good evening. Aben, I invest in myself first. Well, Zhang Fu, that makes absolute sense. Nothing but trouble. That's what it was. Nothing but trouble. That was a funny one with Bobo and Little Devil. All right. Marrakesh, good evening. Bert. All right, so let's just jump on. Hacker Gaming, good evening. Bible and Bench, have a great day. Man, love the videos. Jesus loves you, and have a blessed day. Well, alrighty. Or options. Highlander, Mila or options. Okay, I'm not quite sure what Mila means, but, enlighten me if you could. All right, all that being said, Aaron, good evening. Ding, yep. Ding. Johnny, we got a winner. Tell him what he's won. All righty. Greetings from Syria. Oh, I don't know any Syrian. Terribly sorry. Little Masterpiece. Good evening. All right, so I said hello to a lot of you. Can't say hello to everyone because you guys just keep on coming. That being said, let's get started. First one, you know what? We have Mara up. Let's take a look at it. I love this spot right here in the last week or so. So let's zoom in and take a good look at Mara because, Mara is on the list, and I do have some of those. Mila Kunis. Well, she wasn't in that movie, Nothing But Trouble. That was way before her time. All right. I'm from Ireland and Hungary. Well, if you're from Ireland and you're hungry, there's a great place to get something to eat right off of Main Street. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry, just being a little silly. All right, so let's take a look at Mara. What I want to do is I want to pull back because I have a certain strategy. Now, let me briefly explain what it is I'm looking. It might make things a little bit easier, okay? First and foremost, I'm looking for a qualified dividend stock, a good company. Now, when I say a qualified dividend stock, well, I'm looking for something that has 2 decades. That's 20 years of increased profits. Because for me, it doesn't make sense to invest my money into something that's not profitable. Basically, I'm giving my money to the CEO, the CFO, and the management team just to make sure that my money is safe and that I can get a safe, predictable return on it. Well, what I'm looking for is just 1% per week. Now, I know you all know your math. Math is pretty easy. 1% a week is over 50% per year. And that works for me. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what brought you here, but welcome to the show. If you have any questions, please ask the question just once and do me a favor. If you want me to look at one of your stocks, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But if that is what you're going to do, make sure the company has dividends, make sure it has weekly options, and preferably a company has dividends for more than 2 decades. Now, someone's mentioning something about Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher ex Mila Kunis as his current wife. Yeah, I was just talking about Demi Moore was in the movie with John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, and Chevy Chase called Nothing But Trouble. That was way before Mila Kunis was even online. Okay? But, yeah, I get it. Chino, Sabine Vincent. Sabina Vincent. Cool. Leon Din. Okay, I didn't even read that one. Steve Fitz, what's going on? Bert, what's going on? Okay, so that being said, Mecca Millie, good evening. All right, now I do a certain, let's call it for better words, routine. A plus B equals C. Okay? Okay, Kuldeep, we'll take a look at Tesla in a little bit, and I'll explain to you why we're going to look at Tesla. TSLA. Okay, I'll take a look in a little bit. I have a routine. A plus B equals C, so on and so forth. I do this, and this. Well, first thing I always do is, number one, take a look at the 1-year chart. Now, anytime I take a look at a 1-year chart, because, hey, we're investing in dividend stocks, or we're investing in the stock market. So we got to know what direction is the stock price going. What are the other buyers and sellers doing in relationship to the stock that we're looking at? Well, right now, we're looking at MARA, M-A-R-A. When I say the other investors, well, today alone, 60, that's a 6, 4, 7, 64,700,000 shares traded today on this. I'm just one person, okay? I have no way possible that I can do 64 million shares of MARA. Ain't happening. I have a couple thousand shares. That's about it. But 64 million shares traded today. So in order for you to get you don't even have to get a jump on the other traders. You just got to do what's comfortable and right for you. Now, what's right for me may not be right for you. So what I'm looking for, simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. First thing I want to do, always, the 1-year chart. I'm looking for 5 things. The 5 things I'm looking for should take 3 to 4 seconds. Are you ready? High, low, where was it, where is it, and what's the direction? The direction is simple. You take your little finger like this, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, that's the direction for the year. The high's here, the low's here. We're somewhere in between the high and the low. Fine. That's okay. I don't want to buy it at the high because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, when it's at the high, that's the time to sell, not the time to buy. Now, when it's at the bottom, well, that's a time to keep an eye on it because stocks go down, hit the bottom of the year, and then turn around and go back up again. Well, the bottom of the year was 2 months ago. Well, now it's going back up again. The high was here, the bottom's here, now she's going back up. That's what I want to see in the first 1-year chart. We're going to look at the other charts in a little bit, but before we do, we want to check and make sure the numbers are right. Because I got a 5-step rule. Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute too. But let's take a look at the numbers and see if they make sense. Well, currently it's at $16.41. That's the current price. So if I'm going to do a covered call, which is one of the safest trading strategies there is, I want to make sure that I have someone to sell it to. Because there's only one way to make money in the stock market. Buy low, sell high. Well, if the low's here, I want to buy it while it's low, and as it's going up, I want to do that. Washington, do me a favor. Please don't do that. Washington, once or twice is great. You're just clogging up the screen, and I'm going to be forced to do this, and I hate doing this. I hate doing that. I do. I had to block it because I just don't want to see that kind of stuff. It interrupts it for everyone else, and it's just not fair. Please don't do that. I appreciate it. I do. But don't do that. All right, anyway. Yes?
The screen on YouTube, it's not working.
It's not working? Hold that thought. Let's go find out why it's not working. Where am I? All right, I need the glasses for this. Where's Jacob when I need him? Damn it. Okay, YouTube. No, right here. Come on. All right, give me a second while I figure out why the screen on YouTube's not working.
We see the audio mixer.
Now, I know what that is then. Yeah, I don't need to do this. I know. All right, thank you for that. Get rid of that. Display. I got to change the display, and then we go that, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do that, and then we do this right there, that right there, and give it about 2 or 3 seconds, and she should pop up. Alrighty. Sorry about that. It does happen. Hello, Epic. I have an econ degree. Dr. Fauci here is full. I have no idea what that means, but okay. Way to lose your money fast. Diversify and long-term approach. Fishmaster, I have no idea what that means. All in the past is so irrelevant to the future. Okay, not quite sure what you mean by that. All right, let's see. Fishmaster says Anthony Fauci 2003. I have no idea what that means. You can welcome them to continue to support your live with animated GIFs. All right, Fishmaster, thank you for that. Wet your beak. I have no idea what that means. All right, it's all the past irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. Way to lose your money fast, diversify, and long-term approach. No idea what you mean by that. I have an econ degree. Dr. Fauci here is full. No idea what you mean. You can welcome, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine, whatever. Anytime Market, good evening. How are you doing? All right. What's up? Big boy, what's going on? So I'm trying to say hi to everybody as they pop up. Dividend Stock Talk is on set. Up screen, Mux Capital, how you doing? Christopher Lee, hey James, the channel showing your full screen. Think a swim still in setup mode. Yep, got that figured out. Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right. So, Fishmaster, if you can explain, if you don't mind, what the hell are you talking about? Okay? I'm right here. I'm going to be here till 11:30. You tell me what you're talking about, and maybe I can understand a little bit. So let's get back to where we are. What the hell are we looking at? We're not looking at that. We don't need that at the moment. We don't need that at the moment. There we go. All right. We're looking at Mara. I'm looking for 5 things we did at the high, the low, which direction, blah, blah, blah. Before we do that, I like to do what is called a covered call. Now, there's a reason why I like the covered call. It's simple, it's safe, it's predictable. I know. Why does retracement happen? Are they engineered too? Okay, green, I have no idea specifically. Now, I know what retracement means. But without a picture, without any context, not quite sure what it is you're talking about or what type of avenue I should take in order to answer that. Because it looks like a statement, it doesn't really look like a question. Okay, you can call it what you want. You can call this accumulation, you can call this retracement. You can call it whatever you want. I say it goes up, I say it goes down. Some people call it accumulation, some people call it retracement, some people call it profit taking, some people call it escalation, some people call it stock going up, some people call it stock going down. Whatever word you want to use, stocks do 2 things and only 2 things. And do not kid yourself that they do anything but 2 things. They go up and they go down. That is all they do. So if we like a stock, we got to find out what is the best way for us to invest our money, so to speak. Roger Sam, how you doing? So what I like to do, simple, safe, predictable, consistent. I like to buy a stock as it's in the bottom, going back up. Because stocks go up, when they come down, they hit a bottom, they turn around, go back up again. You can call it retracement if you want. I call it profit taking. Because think about it. If you're here at 12, back in September, at 12, and this thing jumps up to 30, think about it. $12 to $30 in a couple of months. Okay, that's almost a 150% increase from here to here. When it hits, you bought it at 12 and it's at 30. Are you going to take a profit? Well, yeah, once you start taking profits, then stocks start to drop. You can call it retracement if you want, but I call it profit taking. Because if you don't take your profit when it hits 30, other people are going to take their profits, and that forces the stock to go down. When it goes down, it gets to a certain point. And when it gets to a certain point, people take a look and say, holy cow, Mara at $10, I'm jumping in. And then the stocks go up. So you can use whatever terminology you want. I say, stocks going up because it's cheap. Gets to a certain point, gets a little too high. They sell it, and then stocks go down. They go up, they go down. That's it. That's it. That's all. What do we have here? I would school this guy all day. Fishmaster, how are you today? Well, Fishmaster, I'm giving you the opportunity. You know, they have an old saying, okay? Put up or shut up. What do you got? You want to test my knowledge? Fire away. Okay? I'm looking for something specific. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, 1% per week. Now, I've been getting 1% per week for over the last 15 years. I show all my trades on 3 accounts. I got 7. I show 3 of them. Every single trade I do. Timestamped, profit, loss, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. Now, I know a lot more than I'm giving away here for free. But I do draw the line, and I teach one trading strategy for free here. It was created for my 9-year-old daughter. When she was 9, she said, Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? Great. So how do you teach a 9-year-old? Within 10 minutes. Got to be safe, all that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. So Fishmaster, you got a lot to say, but you got nothing to say. So where are you? Simone is in the house. Ben said hello, 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 and apparently he disappeared. Okay, Epic, I don't do IPOs. Roger, Meta does not have 20 years of increased dividends. Gary, how you doing, Gary? Easy to say after the fact. Well, not so, Barry, because what we're doing here, you're new here. Okay? Nope, still here. Same as every night. So, Barry, you're saying easy to say after the fact. Well, what we just started doing last week, we pick out 5 stocks, and I show you here as they progress. Now, last night we picked out 5 stocks. Well, this morning I actually bought all 5 of them. So we're going to see how they progress during the week. So I'm not just saying this and looking at stuff from the past. I'm actually showing you as it progresses. So you're new here, so keep your opinions to yourself until you have something to say. Amelia, review thoughts on SLVGLD. Okay, hold on a second. SLVGLD. Now, I can pretty much tell you right now, review, that those 2 stocks are not on my list. And the reason being, I have 2 criteria and only 2. One is 20 years of consistent profitability. So let's take a look at SLV and GLD and take a look at how consistently they increase their dividends. So for that, we gone over to right here, Yahoo Finance. Now, I always tell someone, if you're going to be playing in the stock market, you need to have access at your fingertips a good financial website. I like Yahoo Finance. I've been using it for 20 years. You can use Google Finance. You can use NASDAQ. You can use whatever you want to use. But for the fun of it, Amila's, is that Amila? Amila's review. Let's put it in. His debt is evil. Think can be a lot of money or no, it's in lost money. Okay, user 723A, I have no idea what that means. All right, so we want to look at, all right, this dude over here saying SLV. So let's take a look at SLV. SLV. Now, like I said, I'm looking for two criteria and only two. Consistent profitability and weekly options. So SLV, iShares Silver Trust. Lovely. Now, historical prices, because this is called the data stream. You got the month over here, the day, the month, day, year. Okay? So every single day the stock is traded, the data is right here. The opening price, the high of the day, the low of the day, the close of the day, and the volume of the day. That's just the stock information. What I want to look at is the historical prices for the dividends. Now, simply put, if a company is consistently profitable and they have dividends, they share their dividends with us, the investors. So as the company is more profitable, the dividends will increase. Okay? So just to let you know, SLV has no dividends. So it boggles my mind just a little bit why you'd come to a show, a live event, that says dividend stock talk. Dividend stock. See, the first word is the key word. Dividends. See, SLV has no dividends, so why are we looking at it? GLD is the other one. Well, let's take a look at GLD. GLD. Give it a second. Okay, now look at this. GLD has no dividends either. So, just to point out, anytime you come to, I don't know, whatever event you want to call it, right? The event basically says dividend investing for weekly cash flow. Yeah, I'm aware it has no dividends. You just popped up my TikTok. Yeah, so why am I looking at two companies or two stocks or two whatever you want to call these things that don't have dividends? So both of them for me are no. Because see, what I'm looking for, absolute worst case scenario, if it goes down, at least I'm getting higher and higher dividends every year. Well, think about it. If you're going to invest in the stock market, stocks go up, stocks go down. Well, what are you going to do when the stocks go down? If it's not sharing its profits and it's not consistently profitable, you're getting nothing. And it doesn't have dividends. Mark, I'm still trying to find out how many companies you need to make a weekly income. One. That's all you need is one. Okay? Depends on what you want. If you ask a better question, you'll get a better answer. Because if you think about it, the quality of your questions you ask is equal to the quality of the life that you live. You ask a better question, you get a better answer. You get a better answer, well, then you can have a better life. It's actually that simple. You don't like where you are, ask a different question. Amelia, okay, so what are your two favorites? Well, US Steel is one of my favorites. So is Dell and so is Intel. I love those. Great premiums, great dividends. Well, not great dividends, but still. Aki, how you doing? I'm new. Actually, may I know the name of this strategy? It's called Dividend Capturing 2.0. You have a Telegram channel. No, I do not. I don't do Telegram and I don't do WhatsApp. I love the simple explanation. Thank you. What's a good time limit would you consider scalping? I trade weekly. I buy on Monday, I sell on Friday, normally. All right. What's your thoughts on Occidental Petroleum? I love Occidental Petroleum. YouTube recommendations brought me here. Hoping to learn something. Awesome. Mr. Brown or Mrs. Brown, I can't really see. Atiki Tree, good evening. All right, so sit back, relax. What I'm looking for, simply, let's step back just for a little bit. Let's move on over to, I do this every single week, FinViz. F-I-N-V-I-Z, FinViz, stock screener. What am I looking for here? Let me show you briefly what I'm looking for, the screener. This number right here. Let's get rid of that damn advertisement. Can't get rid of that advertisement. All right, anyway, ignore that ad. What I'm looking for is this number right here. 10,066. That means there's 10,066 different companies trading in the stock market today. Every week we look. Last week it was 10,046. Well, this week it's 10,066. So how do you decide out of 10,066 different companies, how do you decide which ones to buy? Me, it's simple. For me, consistency of profitability, weekly option. Ooh, shit. Oh, I missed it. Damn it. Okay. Consistency of profitability and weekly options. That's it. The only two criteria I'm looking for. Okay? So let's get out of here. Let's get out of there. Let's go back to right here. All right, so let's get back to Mara. So I'm going to show you tonight the simple trading strategy that I used, that I created for my 9-year-old back in 2008. She said, Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? Great. So now a 9-year-old, safe, simple, predictable, consistent, and no way for her to lose. Because we all know if you give a 9-year-old some money and say, here, start trading. If she loses, what do you think she's going to do? Not a he, a she. Now, if it's my little boy, I'd say, yeah, buck up, buddy. Rub some dirt in it, you know. But a little girl, you can't do that. If she loses her money, she's going to cry. I'm going to feel like crap. Mom's going to get involved. I'm going to be sleeping on the couch for a week. So it has to be simple. And no way for her to lose. So, 5 rules. Ready for the 5 rules? They're simple. They really, really are simple. Rule number 1. For my daughter, it was never buy something that was not on the list. Now let me show you the list. Here we go right here. Dividend calendar. If you don't know what an EX dividend calendar is, it tells you when a company is going to pay its dividend. Well, this here is June 25th, 2025. These are all the companies that have 25 years. 25 years of increased dividends. If you want to know who they are, you ready? Dividend kings, dividend aristocrats, dividend champions, dividend contenders. For the fun of it, we're going to throw in Warren Buffett's list, and I want to get your guys' opinion. Should we put Kathy, what's her name? Kathy Wood. Should we put Kathy Wood's list on there? I mean, she does control one of the biggest funds there are. I don't know. Should we? I don't know. Is she a good trader? Does she pick good stuff? Is it something we want to look at? Okay, I got to stop these questions here for a second. All right, hold tight. We're going to get to some of these questions. Just sit tight for a second. Big Tizzy, what's happening? Jim Clifford, what's going on? Okay, what do we have here? What is your thoughts on Occidental Petroleum? I like Occidental Petroleum. Sit tight. We're going to get to Occidental Petroleum. Kathy Woods, yeah, thank you. So, the EX dividend calendar. For my daughter, the 5 rules were, number 1, if it's not on the list, it's an automatic no. Now, to get on the list, 2 criteria, and only 2. Increased dividends, weekly options. That's it. FTD, isn't that like a florist company? FDT. Hold that tight. Hold that thought. All right, so rule 1, if it's not on the list, it's a no. If you don't understand the stock, if you don't want to own it for the long term, don't buy it. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, never sell at a loss. Rule number 2. Rule number 3, make sure the company is consistently profitable. Why would you ever invest money into a company that's not profitable? That boggles my mind. And you will see tonight, people will ask me to look at stuff, and I'll be shaking my head saying, what the hell were you thinking? Because there's a lot of them out there. Every single night, there's, without fail, somebody gives me something to look at, and I'm scratching my head thinking, what the hell were you thinking when you bought that? Rule number 4, weekly options only. Okay? Because the only way I'm going to get weekly cash flow is for something that trades on a weekly basis. Or sit in front of my computer. I have no desire to sit in front of my computer whatsoever. Okay? Contrary to popular belief, I'm not on my computer all day. I'm off for about an hour or two in the morning with the trading group, because there's a lot of you guys out there, just on my own, 10 or 15 minutes. That's it. For me personally. But for you guys, it takes a little bit longer because I got to explain it. Anyway, rule number 5. Make sure all the numbers work. Now, we are going to take a look at stocks, and we're going to go through all the trades just so you can see exactly how I do it. And I don't gatekeep, and I don't cherry pick. Okay? You're going to give me a stock, FDT. I'll take a look at it. I'll give you my opinion. It may be a yes, it may be a no. I'm thinking it's going to be a no because I never heard of it. Now, I've been trading long enough to know which companies are consistently profitable, which ones are a yes and which ones are a no, for the most part. Very rarely does somebody come up with something that I've missed, for the most part. So FDT, let's take a gander at it. FDT. FD Development ETF. Hell no. See, was that quick? I don't do monthlies. 20 June, 18 July, 17 October, 16 January. Those are months of the year. Okay, which means for a covered call, for what I do, I can only trade it once a month. Now think of it to yourself. Think closely. If you're going to get a rate of return for each option that you sell, I don't buy options, I only sell them, because 80% of all options expire worthless, so why the hell would I want to buy one? If 80% expire worthless, why would I want to be on the losing team? 20% actually win, make money, 20%. I'm not that good to pick 20%. I'm a hell of a lot good. I'm a hell of a lot better at picking the 80%. So I sell options. So if I'm going to get 1 to 2% for each option trade I do, a monthly option, well, I'm going to get 12 to 24% a year. Now, some of you might think, well, I love 24% a year. Why would you take 24% a year when you could get 50% to 100% per year? Simply, safely, predictably, consistently. Okay, I love those Lees. Invite them all. Even invite David Lee over. Come on, David Lee, come on. All right, anyway. So, weekly options only. FDT, sorry, dude. I don't do monthlies. They just don't work for me. All right, so it's going to be a no. So next one on the list, let's go back to Mara, because that was up already, and I do have some Mara. So let's see how quick it is. 3 to 4 seconds. High, low, is. Look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. 1642 to 1650 is going for 37. If I buy it at the current price, 1642, I'm going to sell it to someone else at 1650. It's called a covered call. You buy the stock first, you sell somebody the rights to buy it from you for the same price, and you collect the premium, the insurance premium. Because all stock options are insurance contracts. That's all they are, is insurance contract. They were originally created in the 1970s for the rich people not to lose money. So if you have a couple $1 million in, let's say, AT&T, and you thought it was going to go down, well, you'd buy some put options. And as your stock went down, the option prices went up, so you didn't lose anything. Except for the premium that you pay. Now, this is a weekly premium. It's an insurance policy. If you have stocks and you don't want to lose money, called hedging your bets. So if you think your stocks are going to go down, you buy a put. And if your stocks do go down, the puts go up in value so you don't lose any money. That's what they were originally intended for. Someone came up with a great idea. So, well, let's take these options and twist them and turn them so we can make money on them. Well, great. Buy the stock, sell the option, collect the premium. Easy breezy, right? Mara. If I'm buying at 1642 and I sell it to someone else at 1650, do you remember why I said simple and safe and predictable? Well, I'm going to show you how it's predictable and how we can make money off of it. So let's take a look at Mara, because Mara did come up this week as a contender. All right, so a year ago, Mara's at 1967. We top out the year in the end of November at 33.33. So here's something that you should know for those of you that are new. For those of you are new here, If you are not willing to buy something at $30, have it go down to 10, that is a 66% decrease. Okay? If you cannot buy it at 33 and not sell it, watch it drop all the way down to 10. This is not a game you should be playing, because stocks can do that, and sometimes they do. So pick a stock, pick a good stock. Never sell at a loss. The ideal thing to do is to sell a covered call every single week. And we're going to do a couple of those. Let's do one right now. The low of the year, right here in April, 970. Yeah, computer fuzzer, we're going to take a look at Tesla, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm changing my tune on Tesla. It has nothing to do with the fact it has dividends or no dividends. It has something to do with the fact that that Tesla is not the car itself, it's the computer company. What they are doing and where they are going. They are a mover and a shaker, and I hate to do it, I really do, because they don't have dividends, and I hate the fact that they don't have dividends. But you can't fight what's coming. What's coming is robotics. There are going to be robots. There are going to be trips to the moon. There are going to be colonizing it. And you're going to look back, and, in 50 to 100 years, you're going to look back, well, who's the one who invented the robots and the moon land, and what do you call it, the colonizing on Mars? There's only one person who's doing it. Okay, so you can't fight it. Anyway, so let's keep it. Here's the low right there on the 8th. Now let's zoom in. Okay, high, low is. Look at the motion. Up, down, up. It's currently on the upside. You can't argue that. Here's the high, here's the low. Okay, it's going up. It is. So 30-day. Now I like looking at the 30-day chart for the reason being is I'd like to know where it's going this week. Okay, here's the, I gotta move that. Now that was not a good thing to do. Now that wasn't good either. Okay, let's try this one more time. One more time. If we try, okay, here we go. Up, down, up. It's in an uptrend at the moment. See, right there. 6-2 is the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days to the upside. Where's it going to be by Friday? That's what I'm thinking. Well, let's take a look. 1627. Well, let's do a 1650 call option. Now, for those who don't know how a covered call works, just in case you're wondering, hold those questions. In case you were wondering, okay, this is, oh, God, I gotta turn this so you can see that better. There we go. How the hell did that move? All right. I get 6 cameras going. 6 cameras here, 1 camera, that's 7 cameras, and about 10 channels. I'm broadcasting on 10 channels. So here's the order. Now I'm going to explain everything as we progress, and yes, this here, just the screen, is live on YouTube. So whatever channel you're on, go into the bio. That will bring you to my website, The 10-Minute Trader. In there, you will find the link to YouTube channel. Now, my YouTube channel, I got 2 lives going right now. Nope, 3 lives on YouTube. that one, and that one. The one with me standing in front of the screen is one that's live. Okay, there's also one live, just the screen alone. So it's easy to see these small numbers. You probably can't see them on your phone. You probably can't see them on your tablet. Until I get some IT help here that can zoom in and learn how to use that, we're basically stuck with going in the other room, pull it up on the big screen TV, and watching it on TV. Because there are people that do that. They have their phone in one hand, they listen, and they have the big screen TV going with the screen up there. All right, anyway, that being said, here's the order. Okay, now a covered call, I'm going to explain it to you as I progress, so in the end, everything will come together. Okay? Buy one covered call, Mara, M-A-R-A, 100, just the weekly, 13 June 25. That is this coming Friday. That means this order, I think Ford is the cheapest stock that's a dividend champion, king, contender, aristocrat. Cool. Who said that? Steve Martinez. We'll take a look at Ford in a little bit. Computer Fuzzer, we'll take a look at that also. What do you think of Yield Max? Oh boy, we're going to look at Yield Max also. Okay, got to stop these questions from coming in. As I was saying, there are literally hundreds of videos explaining a covered call. It's one of the simplest, one of the safest trading strategies there is. It is so safe, as a matter of fact, that you are allowed to do covered calls in your IRA, in your retirement account. Because some trades you cannot do in your IRA, but you can do a covered call. And there's literally hundreds of videos explaining it. Let me give you a brief example. I'm buying something, I own it, okay? I own it. Okay, what is this thing? Okay. Oops. It's one of those cool toys you get. Lighter. Who needs a lighter like that? Really? Anyway, I own it, okay? I paid X amount for it, doesn't really matter. I'm going to sell it to you for a certain price by this Friday. So you give me a certain amount of money up front. Let's say it's 10, 15 bucks. Okay? You're going to buy it from me at $10 by anywhere between now and Friday. But for that privilege, for me to hold it for you until Friday, you have to pay me for that. That is the premium. That is what I am chasing. The premium, and it's listed every single day. And I'm going to show you exactly where it is and see if it makes sense to you. So if you own something, you can sell somebody the rights to buy it at a certain price by a certain date. So we already said 13 June 25. That's this coming Friday. Now, I will own the stock right here. Okay? I'm buying it first thing in the morning. I will own the stock. And I will own it until I decide to sell it. Well, just because I sold somebody the right to buy it from me for almost the exact same price I just paid for it, okay, that means I can't sell it to someone else. But here's the thing. I know what my profit is going to be before I even buy it. Remember, simple. Covered calls one of the simplest strategy. Safe is one of the safest trading strategies. Simple, safe. Predictable. I forget sometimes. Predictable. This is my profit right there. It already tells me what my profit is. Consistent. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent. Predictable, I know what my profit's going to be. Consistent, I can do it every single week. Because that's why I want weekly options. Every single week, I can get a check. Every single stock I have possession of. I have control of. I sell a covered call against it every single week. I consider it as a cash producing asset. If I take 15, 20,000, put it into this, I want 1% a week. So what's 1% of 10,000? 1% of 10,000 is $100 every single week. By the end of the year, I got $5,000. About 5,000. Yeah, 5,000. Whatever. Anyway. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way to lose. Okay, so here's my profit, $47.50. What is the cost? The cost of the trade, including commissions and fees, right there. So to find out the rate of return, we need to get the calculator. Unless you can do it in your head, and I don't think everybody here can do it in their head. So let's get the calculator up here. First thing we want to do is put the profit. Okay, profit, $47.50. $47.50. Now, to find out the rate of return, you take the profit, $47.50, divided by the cost of the asset, or the cost of the trade. Cost of the asset, $1,603. $1,603. And that's going to equal the rate of return for 1 week. So if I buy it tomorrow morning, at the current price, $16.27. That's the current price right there. I sell somebody the right to buy it from me anytime between tomorrow morning and Friday afternoon. They're going to pay me $47.50 per contract. Okay? If the stock is above the strike price, $16.50. Remember, I'm buying it at $16.27. I'm selling the $16.50 call option giving someone the right to buy it from me at $16.50 anytime between now and Friday afternoon at 3:59 p.m. because at 4 o'clock it expires. That's it. They actually expire on Saturday, but you can't do anything on Saturday, so let's consider it as Friday afternoon. So 2.9%. That would be my rate of return for the week, not the month, not the quarter, not the year. A week, 2.9% for this trade on Mara right here. And yes, it is recorded, so you can go back and review it if you like. All right? But think about it. If you could buy a company that you like, Estee Lauder, Ford, General Motors, Macy's, IBM, AT&T, Tesla, Home Depot, Lowe's. There's literally 10,066 companies you could buy. Okay? But I'm only looking at 300. Okay? And the reason why I'm looking at 300 and only 300, because that's all the companies that are consistently profitable for more than 2 decades and have weekly options. That's my criteria. You got to figure out what's your criteria. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Okay, so Steve Martinez, we're going to take a look at that in a minute. I got to stop these questions so I can answer them as I progress. All right, so Mara is on the list for this week. Cool. Next on the list, let's go. ENB, Enbridge. Love that company. Been around for decades with a good dividend. Okay. ENB, you say? All right, here we go. ENB, Enbridge. Well, would you look at that? Enbridge is a monthly optionable stock. 20 June, 18 July, 17 October, 16 January. So, who wrote that one? Big Brain. Big Brain. I love Enbridge. I do. I don't trade it because it doesn't work for me. Okay? I don't do monthlies because the numbers just don't work for me. If I was going to get weekly income from Enbridge, ENB, I'm going to sit in front of my computer and watch this stupid thing all day. Yeah, no thank you. Okay, I have better things to do with my time. Now, you guys got to figure out, because it all depends on where you are in the stage of your life. I'm retired, which means I don't punch a time clock anymore. I still work. I don't get paid for it. You know, I do work for my mother. I do work for my sons. I do work for my daughters. I do work for my friends and family. That's about it. But I don't get paid. So you guys are punching a time clock, putting your 40, 50 hours in every single week. You have to take that money and you got to put it somewhere. Because when it's time for you to retire, you got 2 choices and only 2. Where's your money going to come from? You got to either invest it yourself or give it to someone else. That's it. There's no other way. It's coming from someone else, or you're taking responsibility and you're doing it yourself. Okay? And I can pretty much guarantee that nobody has as much interest in your money than you do. All right. So Enbridge, terribly sorry, dude. It's a no. Okay? The numbers just don't work for me. Hope all is well, Big Brain. Thank you very much. How do I feel about VOO? Holy cow. They are on wrong show. Yes, they are, Gary. Uh-oh. Well, what? Wow, you guys keep coming up with these questions. The channel showing you, okay, got that one. Good evening, blah, blah, blah. Why does retracement happen, blah, blah, blah. Nope. I love the simple explanation. You got it? You have a Telegram? No, I do not. I'm new. Just sit back, relax. You will see it as it unfolds. What's a good time limit? I look at the one year chart, the 90-day chart, the 30-day chart. That's about it. They are on the wrong show. What's your thoughts on Occidental Petroleum, OXY? I love OXY. OXY. Now, ready? I'm going to click the button and you're going to see the chart in your head. Do a quick calculations. How long does it take you to see the high, the low, where was it, where is it, and where it's going? You ready? 1, 2, 3. High, low, was, is. Look at this. Down, up. Well, that was easy. That was 2 seconds. Okay? The top's here. The bottom's here. It went down, and then it went up again. That's pretty simple. Great. So now I want to go and see what the current price is. 43.45. Now you can argue with me all you want. You can disagree. You can do whatever you want to do. But you can't argue facts. I love facts. I love numbers. People lie. Numbers don't. 1 plus 1 is going to equal 2 no matter where you come from. Okay, the high's there, the low's there. The current price, 43.46. So if I'm going to do a covered call on this, I want to look at the closest one, the 43.50, right here, 43.50. What's the closest strike price? 43.50. What's it selling for? 35. Now ask yourself a question. Is 35 cents 1% of $45? No, it ain't. 1% of $45 is 45 cents. You move the decimal point over 2 places. That's it. See? 43.23, 43.24. Okay? 1% of 43 is 43. Let me rephrase that. 1% of $43 is 43 cents. This is only offering 35, so that's a no. Sorry, love Occidental Petroleum, but not this week. Now, I have bought Occidental Petroleum in the past, and I will look at it again when all the numbers look right. Just not this week. Next, you guys' recommendations. What's your thoughts on Occidental? Did that one already. They on the wrong show. Yep. My thoughts on VOO. Oh my goodness. VOO. VOO is great for those who don't want to take responsibility for their own money. Because number one, it's $551. Number one. Number two, it does have weeklies. Okay, fine. All right. But at 553, the 555s are going for $1.90. Well, that's a no right there. But hold on. It actually gets worse. VOO. Let's go take a look at the historical performance on VOO and see how wonderful they are with their dividends. Okay? Okay? Vanguard S&P 500 ETF VOO. You're basically giving your money to a computer. Haven't you seen enough Terminator movies? I saw 2001, was it 2000? Yeah, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Yeah, no, I wouldn't trust a computer with my life. All right, so let's take a look at all the dividends from VOO. Now, VOO, I got to mute you guys. I don't know who's coming up with the feedback over here. Feedback. iPhone 31. All right, come on. iPhone 31. Mute. There we go. All righty. All right. So, number one, VOO only has 15 years, listen closely, 15 years of dividend. That's not increased dividends, that's just 15 years of dividends. So let's see if they actually increase them. All right? Now, 2010, the very first dividend is 55 cents. The second dividend is 52. Hold on a second. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure we all know our elementary math. But if the first dividend is 55 cents, shouldn't the next dividend be higher? 56, 57, 59? Why is the second dividend lower than the first? Now, when I say consistently increase profits, wouldn't you jump to the conclusion that increase means higher, not lower? The second dividend is lower than the first one. All right, so that's one going backwards. 55, 52, backwards. 53, 57, 58, 68, 57. That's two backwards. Where are we? Right here. 64, 64, 68, 94, 67, three times backwards. 73, 78, 91, 77, four times backwards. 80, 87, 98, 90, five times backwards. And we're still in 2015. 2, okay. 90, 95, 109, 1, six times backwards. 95, seven times backwards. 88, 8 times backwards, 129.99. 9 times backwards, 101, 117, 118, 118, 118, 108. 10 times, 115, 120, 128, 145, 138, 11, 130, 12, 142, 117. I'm going to stop right now. Okay, we're at 2019, and we got 13 times this thing went backwards. Now, when I say consistency of profitability, okay, let's take a look at a stock, and I'll show you exactly what consistency of profitability should look like. Now, ask yourself a question. Would you invest money into a company that's not consistently profitable? When I say consistently profitable, I mean higher and higher and higher and higher dividends. Well, let's take a look at this one. Microsoft goes all the way back to 1986. I'm just going to go to 2005 because 2005 is 20 years. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way back to 2000. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 16, 20, 23, 28, 31, 36, 39, 42, 46, 51, 56, 62, 68, 75, 83. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't each one of those higher than the previous one? Higher, 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 higher. Barry Quinn, easy to say after the fact. Okay. But think about it. Why would you invest in VOO? You asked me my opinion. VOO, the profits go up, the profits go down. Profits go up, profits go down. Up, down, up, down. No, thank you. There's 10,066 different companies. Why would I invest money in a company that goes down, then up, then down, then up? No, no, no. See, Microsoft, consistently profitable year after year after year after year. It's on my list. Why isn't it on your list? So let's keep on going. Alrighty. Tesla Chris, what's happening? Ben said, yep. Bum, 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 bum. Brandon, what's going on? Brad B, what's going on? Okay. None 1651. All right, let's get out of that. Pepsi. Now, we've been watching Pepsi for the past couple of weeks, looking for the new bottom. Okay? High, low, was, is. Look at the motion. Up, down, sideways. It's been going sideways for the past month and a half. We're looking for the bottom, and it is the bottom of the year that we're looking for. Has it showed up yet? No. Okay, we thought it was here. Look, we thought it was this. Okay, it came down, hit here. 2 days up, came back down. Here, 3 days up, came back down. Couple of days up, came back down. We haven't found the bottom of the year, but it's here somewhere. As soon as it finds the bottom, I want 2 days to the upside. On the third day, I will jump in. Well, I was thrown for a loop here. 1, 2, 3 days up. On the fourth day, is where I usually jump in, the third day, she dropped back down again. So I look for the bottom. We haven't found it yet, but I love Pepsi. It's a dividend king, which means it has 5 decades of increased profits. Well, hell yeah. Okay? Who do you got? Eric, good evening. Peter, what's going on? Jose, ¿qué pasa, amigo? Terry Mach, what's going on? Steven. All right, TMS, Cindy. Too much silliness, huh? TMS, Tenant Minerals Ltd. Now, you see when the computer does this, that means it can't find it. So apparently, TMS is not a U.S. stock. Sorry, kiddo. All right, no one. 907 Cindy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jack, Chad, Jumpin' Jack. What do you think about NU? NU. Isn't that, it's either Nucor or New Skin? NU Holdings. All righty. Well, take a look. High, low, was, is. Look at all this motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. We're at 1192. Should be looking at the 12s. The 12s going for 15. That was quick. That's how quick I analyze a stock. The 1 year chart's not that difficult. The high's there, the low's there. Look at the motion. Okay, up, down, up, down. It's really that simple. And the current price, $11.92. Well, great. Well, if I'm buying it at $11.92, what am I going to sell it for? The closest strike price on a covered call is going to be the 12. Now, if I'm going to sell somebody the right to buy it from me at 12, I'm going to be collecting 15 cents per share. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not. But the thing is, you missed a huge money move in IBIT. Joey, I bet I didn't, because IBIT's not on my list. Okay? I can go to a store and find a gorgeous suit with a beautiful pair of shoes. But if it doesn't fit, I'm not going to buy it. So IBIT, it's not on my list. So I didn't miss anything because I'm not looking in that direction. When did Tony Hawk become a day trader? Well, I don't know. I'm not a day trader, so I don't know. So NU, just by looking at the numbers, okay, that is more than 1%. Fine. Let's take a look. All right, a year ago, NU's at 11.93. Top of the year, 16.13. Bottom of the year is 9. Jumps back up. Look at the last 30 days. Okay, what do you think? The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Up, down, sideways. Do you like NU? That's a good question. Is this something you want to buy and something you want to hold on to? That's another good question. Is it going to be profitable? And if so, how much? Well, let's find out. Looking at the 12s, if you like it, at 12, the covered call, at 12, right there. Now, I'm just going to do one contract. I have it preset for 10, but one contract is going to look something like this. Buy one covered call NU 100s, that's the weeklies, 13 June 25. That means it's going to expire this coming Friday. So if the person who buys it from me wants to buy it from me, well, they have between now and Friday to buy it. That's what that means, 13 June 25. The $12 call option against the stock at the market to open to open. Now, the reason it says to open, they're not repeating themselves. You're just opening 2 orders. Now, the reason I do this way is because the stock and the option are tied together, and I know already what my profit is going to be before I even do it. So I just run the numbers real quick. Does it make sense? Do I like this company? Fine, then I do it. I already know what my profit's going to be, so let's find out. If the profit is $22.50 and it's going to cost $1,100, let's find out. $22.50 divided by cost of the trade, including commissions and fees, $11.78. That comes to a grand total of 1.9. What is that one? NU? 1.9. I don't remember the last one we did. What was the last one we did? I forgot. I usually write them down when there's a good number. Brian Kelly, what's the best stock? Well, Brian Kelly, I really couldn't tell you what the best stock for you is because I know nothing about you. And I always tell someone, if you have the desire to chat and write your number down and I'll give you a call. Do you like Pepsi and thinking it's about to pop? Well, yeah, as soon as they find the bottom. What's the best dividend stock? Yield Max. Okay, what do I think of Yield Max? Well, most Yield Max stocks aren't 20 years old. Okay, I'm looking for companies that have 2 decades of profitability. Yield Max hasn't been around for 2 decades, so none of them actually fit what I'm doing. But I don't tell people what to do. How do you feel about LIGM? Brent, how are you doing today? Oh, look at No Labs, up 98% today. Okay, Joey V, got to give me the ticker symbol. Ligma. What the heck is Ligma? All right, hold on. See, that's that one. Get out of there. Get out of there. Go back to here. Go back to here. Go back to here. And what were we talking about? Ligma. Never heard of it. Ligma. Hell no. See, if the computer can't find it, that means it's not a U.S. stock. Usually. Little Monk, ask you for more money. No idea what that means, Little Monk. Okay, jumping jacks. How do I feel about SoFi? SOFI. Interesting. Interesting. But before I go any further with SoFi, let's go over to Yahoo Finance, because I'm pretty sure there's a reason why I don't buy SoFi. SOFI. So let's see how wonderful SoFi is with their... that's why I don't buy SoFi. There are no dividends in the selected time frame. So why would I buy SoFi? The one before NU was Mara. Yeah, Mara's already on my list. Believe 3-in-1 wants to take a look at Kraft Heinz. Now, Kraft Heinz is a dividend king. KHC. Okay. Now, Kraft Heinz, if you're looking at the chart, here's the high back in August. The low was back in May. It was 34 a year ago. It's at 26 now. She went up, she went down, she went up, she went down, and now we're here. Okay, it's not at the bottom, because the bottom's 26. We're at 26.48 now. So it's actually bouncing off the bottom. The company's over 100 years old. All right, so let's take a look. So the 26.50 is actually going for 22 cents. So as much as I love Kraft Heinz, it's not 1%. So why would I buy it? Because I have a lot of stocks that do give 1% or more every single week. So why would I buy one that doesn't do it? ARKK, but no dividend kings. Then why am I looking at it? ARKK. Okay, it's going to be a no regardless, because I don't buy at the high. ARKK, it's at the high. Okay, ask yourself a question. When is the last time somebody said, hey, this is at the high of the year. It's never been here before. Let's buy some and wait for it to go higher. Ask yourself, does that make sense? It's never been at 63, so why the hell do I want to be the one to buy it and hope and think it's going to get 63 just because I buy it? Temper. So the Forex trader told the future traders that we can't give up. We don't have any options. Boy, that's horrible. Okay, Lee. Thank you, Lee. No, Kathy Woods. Kathy Woods, known as Bag Lady. I have no idea what that means, Apple V, but okay. Roger wants to take a look at CVS. Yeah, JC thinks that's funny. All right, now, where is the list? The calendar, Steve Martinez. The list is right over here. Okay? Here's the list right there. That's my list. I put that list together myself. Okay? You can go to Google and do a Google search. Dividend Kings list 2025. And lo and behold, there's a whole bunch of people out there willing to give you that list. Okay? And then you can take Google search for the dividend aristocrats, the dividend champions, the dividend contenders, so on and so forth. Shell, Mara isn't on the dividend list though. Shell, you missed list number 5. List number 5 is Warren Buffett's list. The dividend list though. Buffett's list. Little Monk, that's a no. Stu Gatz, top stocks are Tesla and Coin and Hood. Yeah, that's for Kathy Woods. Explain covered option, please. Albert, hold that thought for a second. Yep. Rich Bruner, Kathy Wood likes Palantir. No dividends. I'm well aware of it. KLTO. Kalo Costan. KLTO. What the hell is that? KLTO. Now, just to give you a heads up, anytime I see what the hell is that, it's usually a no. Now, what's the name there? Galu? Can you tell me that a stock that is 20 cents a share has 20 years of increased profitability? I don't think so. So, no to KLTO. ASML. Never heard of that one either. ASML. ASML. Ashmill Holdings NVADR. $720 a share. Well, I don't trade stocks over 250, so that's a no for me. Sorry. James, your wires are about to unplug. There's no slack in the seat across your room. How the hell do you see that? No slack in my wires? Anyway, I'm not worried about it, but thank you there, Jesse. You must be in a good mood. I'm always in a good mood. Destiny and Jory, have a good night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty, alrighty. Alright, so let's keep on going. What else do we have here? You buy 100 stocks and then what? Well, Elber, if you buy 100 shares of something, you now have what is called a cash-producing asset. So, if I buy... not that one. If I buy 100 shares of Macy's, okay, high, low, was, is, look at the motion. Up, down, sideways, down, up, 12.25, 12.50s are going for 6. That's going to be a hell no. But if I buy 100 shares of this, I can sell one contract. One contract would give me a cash flow every single week. That's what I'm looking for. Weekly cash flow. Why is Amazon low? Don't know, don't care. No dividends, no thank you. Amazon's a no for me. They've never been profitable. Okay, they don't share their profits because they've never been profitable. I just bought your first book in the series. Cool beans. Well, the first book in the series basically tells you where the dividend capture strategy came from and how old the dividend stocks are. 1602 was the very first dividend stock available. Well, buy the stock, collect the dividend, sell the stock, buy another stock, collect the dividend, sell the stock, buy another one, collect dividend. Dividend capturing is a cool strategy. It works good if you pick the right stocks, because certain stocks move predictably every single 90 days. Now, every single 90 days, that's when they pay their dividend. Every 90 days, every quarter. First quarter, January, February, March. Second quarter, April, May, June. Third quarter, July, August, September. Fourth quarter, October, November, December. So we're currently in the second quarter. We're in the tail end of the second quarter. Uh-oh. Altria, little monk, I love Altria. Ouch. It's going to be a no for Altria. Let me explain why, little monk. Do you see where the high is? Okay. The high was a couple of weeks ago. Now it's coming down. Look at the low of the year, 44. Goes from 44 to 60. That's what? A little bit less than a 50% increase in 1 year. Well, now look at all this area for profit taking. So now she's coming down. So no to Altria. Okay? Look. Up, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days to the downside. She went from 56 to 61. Now, 56 to 61 is only $5. But $5 on a $50 stock is about right around 10%. So when stock jumps 10% in less than 30 days, well, yeah, there's going to be profit taking. And when you have profit taking, stocks go down. I got my hot drink and I got my cold drink. So you got two drinks. Reason being, that the hot drink is good for the throat because I'm not used to talking so much. The cold drink, in case I get thirsty. Isn't that weird? I get thirsty, I want something cold to drink. Can you sell options? Absolutely, Tim. That's exactly what we're doing here. Raul wants to take a look at GOF. What the heck is GOF? Never a good sign when I say, what the heck is this? Guggenheim Strategic Opportunity CF. No options. No. That was quick, wasn't it? No options, no thank you. No dividends, no thank you. Brent, SUGMA. That's going to be a hell no. SUGMA. Imagine that. It's a hell no. Can't even find the symbol. Did we talk about Ligma? Yeah, we did. LIGMA. Okay, can't find that symbol. So it's not available in the U.S. stock market. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Shugma? I have no idea what that means. Do you trade calendar spreads? Joey V, yes I do, but I don't teach it here. Sorry. All right, Finished Work of Jesus. Okay, I just bought your first book, thank you. Don't think I'll be here in 50 years. I don't think I'll be either, but I can always wish. Do you spit or swallow? Oh, great question. James, Amazon still sells Rolodex. That's cool. Did we look at STRK? STRK. Yeah, we did. And it's a no. STRF. STRF. It's a no also. Imagine that. Okay. Southern Lips. CVX. That Chevron? CVX. Chevron. Okay, here we go. High, low, was, is. Look at this. Down, up, down, up. Okay, 140. The 141 is going for 129 to 137. Not quite there. No, don't get me wrong. I love Chevron. Every once in a while, it has a great premium. Just not this week. Tim Lockwood. 100% of my portfolio is in 500, so I need diversification, but my FA says options are gambling. Well, Tim, I'm terribly sorry you feel that way. I'm not quite sure what you mean by all your money is in 500. Is that the S&P 500? And my FA, what is an FA? Financial advisor. Oh, okay. Terminology. Okay, because see, I've been in a whole bunch of different fields. I've been a carpenter. I've been a fisherman. I've been a lobsterman. I've been a manufacturer. I've been a waiter. I've been a lot of things. So when it comes to acronyms, you got to really explain what it is. Tim Lockwood, break the screen, tap it harder. Okay, so Tim, I'm kind of curious, Tim. Now, I'm going to agree with your financial advisor. If you don't know anything about options and you just jump on in, yeah, that's gambling. But if you take your time, why no? Southern Lips. Why no to STRF and STRK? Why no? Okay, that's a valid question. Why no? STRK. No options. The word's right there. No. No options, no thank you. Okay? STRF. No options, no thank you. Okay? The only way I'm going to get weekly cash flow from either one of those stocks is by sitting in front of my computer and watching it move. Yeah, that's a no. No, no, and no. Okay, Mr. Habib. Okay, DJT. No dividends. Brand new company. Got to wait at least 18 years to see that one. User TQQQQQQQQQ. Okay? Now, you may like it. Okay? High, low, was, is. Look at this. Up, down, up, down, up. Great. Let's zoom in. What do you think? Last 30 days. Here's your bottom. Here's your top. Now, does that look like something you want to buy at this moment in time? Seriously, think about it. Now, I'm not even going to go into the crappiness of the dividends that TQQQ plays, also the yield that they pay. But why would I buy something at the high of the 30-day period? Southern Lips. What about MSTR? MSTR. Okay. MSTR. Let's take a look. High, low, was, is. Look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up. It looks good here. It does. But need my glasses for this part. MSTR. Southern Lips, you ready? There are no dividends in the selected time period. So, if we're here, in the name of here is dividend investing for weekly cash flow, and MSTR doesn't have any dividends, why are we looking at it? Look at Meta, planet known as Labs. MSTR hasn't been ever kept up with IBIT. Okay, let's get out of here for a second. IBIT. IBIT. Okay. Alrighty, 6177. IBIT. Oh, iShares Bitcoin Trust. There are no dividends in the time period selected. So, IBIT is a no. Ying, never heard of it. Y-I-N-G. Y-I-N-G. Ying. Yeah, hell no. It's not even showing up. We can't find the symbol. No. Okay, when I say, come on guys, when I say I want a good company to look at, that's a company that's either Dividend King, Dividend Aristocrat, Dividend Champion, Dividend Contender, or Warren Buffett's list. That's 5 lists. That's over 300 companies that we can look at. I've gotten, what, 8 or 10 different companies in a row that are all no, 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 hell no. Okay, MSTY. Do you even look at what you're buying? Think about it. MSTY is not even 3 years old yet. And the dividends are unsustainable. Take a look at the numbers. Seriously, take a look at the numbers. Eric Land, hey, James, responded to your DM. Sorry for the delay. Been traveling for work. Cool beans. Shell, that's if the stock goes to zero. Rich Bruner, all right. Can you please explain your stance on yield max? Oh, boy. Oh, Jill got her Porsche. Said thanks. All right. The profit to loss on Mara doesn't make sense. Am I missing something? Profit to loss on Mara. Okay. Hold that thought for a second. Hold that thought. I'm over here for a second. So, jumping jacks, MSTY. Seriously, dude, take a look at the numbers. These serious numbers. Find a financial website. Look at how consistent they are with their dividends. Okay? Well, if it's not 20 years, why are we even bothering? The thing is exploding. I have no idea what the thing is. I have been making serious money off this lately. Andrew Frost. Andrew Frost, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. Andrew Faust, good stock, blah, blah, blah. Don't know that. MSTY, blah, blah, blah. Venture. I've been making decent money. Okay, fine. Things exploding. Okay. You said no to MSTY because no dividends. You said no to Stark because no options. STRK pays 10%. Yeah, but if it is that 10% a week, 10% a month, 10% a quarter, 10% a year? If it's 10% a year, it's a hell no. Okay, I'm looking for weekly cash flow. All right. So Southern Lips, it's simple. Okay, listen closely. Southern Lips. 2 decades. That's 20 years of increased profits. 20 years increased profits. Weekly options only. There are literally hundreds of guys out here just like me showing different trading strategies. I have one trading strategy that I give you guys for free. And I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm showing you a trading strategy I created for my 9-year-old daughter. Hold on, because some of you guys are new and you've never met the princess. So, let's take a look. Okay. I got to go to through the back door to, YouTube, right there. YouTube. So we're going to go to YouTube, pull up a video of my daughter, okay? And you'll see that she's just a regular, everyday girl. Okay, the oldest videos. There she is right there.
Hi, I'm JC, and as you being part of my internet website called Thingy, which my dad didn't let me calling it that, but I do. Being part of that, you're going to be getting weekly lists of stocks and auto
Okay,
trading, and
so that's JC.
four lists of stocks that you can choose from that'll help you with the
And here's me.
What does that mean? That means every single day you can buy a different stock. Every single day there's a different company.
Here's my favorite part. Yay!
Seriously.
So, how do you keep a 9-year-old entertained? How do you get a 9-year-old to trade stocks? It was her idea. Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? That's what came out of her lips. Can you teach me? Most adults don't get it. So, for my daughter, it was simple. 1, never buy something that's not on the list. Well, you know what the list is. Kings, aristocrats, champions, contenders, Buffett, 2, never sell a loss. Defeats the purpose. 3, consistency of profitability. I don't know why you people miss this one. Consistency of profitability. Why are you putting your money in companies that aren't consistently profitable? Okay? Wildcat. Give me the ticker for YieldMax. Seriously, give me the tickers for YieldMax, and I'll tell you why I don't like YieldMax. Okay? I don't keep it on top of my head on stocks I don't like. So tell me what this symbol is, and I'll take a look at it. 4, weekly options only. 5, make sure the numbers work. I'm walking you through a few trades once you give me halfway decent stocks. It's not that difficult. Kava, when I say 2 decades, Kava does not have 2 decades of profits. Have you heard of Imagine Dragon? Love them. Did you see that Imagine Dragons come out with a stock? No, I didn't. LIGMA. Didn't we just look at LIGMA a little while ago and it was a no? Okay. Mushrooms. Temu stream. No idea what that means. Yeah, baby. QDTE. Yeah, I don't do that. Do you have an opinion on ETF that sells covered calls? It sells covered calls. Yield is 47. You got to give me the ticker symbol for that one. I'll take a look at it. Elber, can you explain the reason why dividends are part of your strategy when buying? Okay, number 1, Elber, I don't buy options. I sell them. Is profitability only reason, or are you expecting some type of stock move? Ooh, that's another good one. Okay, hold that thought. Oh boy, David Terre Herrera. It's a 70% dividend, my friend. Okay, explain to me which one we're talking about, David. Okay? Okay, yeah. Well, give me the ticker symbol for YieldMax. Andrew Faust. VGT. What the heck is VGT? Dum, dum, dum. Okay, VGT. VGT. Vanguard ETF. Okay, what part of weekly options did you not understand? Okay, 20 June, 18 July, 15 August, 19 September, those are months. That means no. YieldMax, YMAG. YMAG. Okay, again, David. YMAG. 20 June, 18 July, 17 October. I don't do monthlies because they just don't work. I'm going to say it slower. Weekly options only. The only way I'm going to make weekly cash flow from YMAG, okay, YieldMax, okay, is if I sit in front of my computer all day long watching it go up and down. Yeah, no thank you, I'm 61. I do not want to sit in front of a computer all day. So there's your answer for YMAX. It's a monthly optionable stock. It's an absolute no. 2 criteria and only 2. 2 criteria and only 2. Consistency of profitability, weekly options. Months, days, I get them confused. All right, Andrew. Monthly, Brent, absolutely. Okay. Can you explain? Yep. Okay. So Elber wants me to explain the reason why dividends are part of the strategy. Okay. Okay, Elber, you ready? This is a calendar. Okay, June 2025. Okay, we all know what a calendar is. These little dots right here, each one of these little dots represents a company that has been consistently profitable for more than 25 years. Okay, 25 years, each one of these. Okay, MCD, McDonald's. SWK, Stanley Black & Decker. Cincinnati Financial. Cardinal Health. Nordson, General Dynamics. Medtronics, T. Rowe Price, Albemarle. Whole bunch of them. Consistently profitable. Now the reason I want dividend stocks. Number 1, absolute worst case scenario. The stock drops. Well, these companies consistently increase their dividends every single year. Every single year for more than 25 years. These companies have consistently increased their dividends. Now, there are companies that have consistently increased their dividends for 5 decades. That's 50 years. So what has happened in the last 50 years that these companies keep increasing their profits? Well, why wouldn't you buy them? If a company is consistently profitable, well, doesn't that mean that they're doing something right? I mean, think about it. Why would you put your money in any company that's not consistently profitable? See, I told you from the beginning of the show, it boggles my mind why people put money into companies that aren't profitable. Yet you do. Okay, YMAG, it's not consistently profitable. They don't have 20 years of increased dividends. Okay, maybe they have 5 years. Okay, maybe you're okay with that. See, there are a lot of people out there sharing what they know. This is a great time to be alive, and it's easy to make money because it's so readily available. The information is right there at your fingertips. You just got to step out and do it. The reason I want dividend stocks and only dividend stocks, worst case scenario, I'm consistently getting a higher and higher return on my money every single year. Because you cannot be a dividend king, which is 50 years of increased profits, if you miss one. If you miss one dividend, if it goes down, then you get booted off the list. You have any idea how long it takes a company to get onto the Dividend Kings list? Well, got to be at least 50 years. And if a company is consistently profitable 50 years or more, or any of these, 25 years or more, they got to know what they're doing. So why would you not buy a company that's consistently profitable? Now I understand some of you are different because you want that big bang, okay? If you're looking for capital appreciation, that means buy a stock and have it shoot to the moon, you're in the wrong place. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. Now, 1% a week is over 50% per year. Now, you can take a look at all my videos. Go to YouTube. Take a look. There's I got over 1,000 videos on YouTube. Basically all saying the exact same thing. Me standing in front of the computer saying blah, blah, blah. Always the same thing. You can look at videos from me 15 years ago saying basically the same thing. Scott, thank you for that. Jeremiah, thank you. All right, so let's take a look at some more of these questions. NU is a Brazil-based company. Okay, he uses the EX date to predict the time. Thank you, Felix. Why is Mara on the list? Only 5-year history. I get it. So, Robert, the reason Mara is on my list, it's not on my list, it's on Warren Buffett's list. So ask yourself a question. If it's good enough for Warren Buffett, well, shouldn't it be good enough for you? Think about it. Okay? All right, so, reason I want that. The EX date is that little green dot. There's 4 dates to remember when you're dealing with dividend stocks. 4 dates. Date number 1 is called the announcement date. Hey everyone, this is James from Dividend Stock Talk. We made so much money this year. This is how you're going to get your share, and you're going to get on this date, and this is how much it's going to be. It's the announcement date. Well, I'll tell you how much the announcement, how much the dividend is going to be, and when you're going to get it. The announcement date is the first date. The second date, the EX dividend date. That is the last day the stock trades before the dividend is paid. So if you want a dividend from any one of these companies, you got to buy it before that date. See the little green dot? ECL, you want that dividend, you got to buy it on the 16th, the 10th, the 2nd, the 4th, the 12th, the 11th, any date before the EX date. And that's why they have a calendar. It tells you when they have their dividend. So you can plan. Stocks move for 2 reasons and only 2 reasons. Let me get that in a second. Date number 3, the date of record. Whoever owns the stock on the date of record is entitled to the dividend. Date number 4, the payment date. Simple, you get your money. So, back to the 2 dates. Stocks move for 2 reasons and only 2 reasons. A unknown reason, which means we have no idea why it moved, and 2, a known reason. Well, that's something you can plan for. If you know what's coming up, dividend, earnings, seasonality, they're all on the calendar. You can plan for buying CINF before the 23rd. You can actually put that in your calendar. Oh, Cincinnati Financial's having their dividend. Great, let's buy some before this date. Stanley Black & Decker, the 3rd. Great, let's buy some before that date. McDonald's, the 2nd. Let's buy it before that date. You can plan for it. Now, what is an unknown reason? Well, do you remember when Exxon Valdez crashed in the Northwest, spilled oil all over the place, she made a huge mess? Did anybody know that was going to happen? No. British Petroleum sprung a leak in the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. I don't do politics. Don't drag me into it. But nobody knew they were going to spring a leak. But they did. The stock dropped. How about when Apple got a lawsuit and had to pay it $2 million? Nobody knew that was coming. Okay, how about a class action lawsuit? Nobody knew that's coming. Earthquake, tornado, hurricane, act of God. Nobody knows. That's an unknown reason. Stocks move based on things out of our control. You can only react to it. But a known reason, dividend, earnings, stock splits, holidays, Christmas, certain stocks move just before Christmas. Certain stocks move at the beginning of the year. Why does Weight Watchers go up at the beginning of the year? Come on, we all know that one. Why does Hershey's go up in the first week of February? Well, we all know that one too. Okay, why does Apple stock go up in the 4th quarter? Well, we all know that one too. Certain stocks move a certain time of year and we can base your calendar on it. That is a known reason. 2 reasons. Unknown and known. You can't do anything with unknown reasons. They just pop up. But the known reasons, You can set your calendar by them. So I use dividend stocks because I know exactly when they're paying their dividend. And most of the stocks I look at have a tendency to increase in value just before the dividend date. So by knowing when the stock is going up in value, that's a very valuable point. That's a very valuable piece of information. But just because you know when the stock is going to go up, what do you do with that information? I'm waiting. Anybody know? Just buy VT and forget about it. What the hell is VT? Dividends are irrelevant. Like $10 in one hand, 9, and you lose 1. Okay, litmus. Anytime you want to come on, brother, and have a conversation, I'd be more than happy with you. But I'm going to disagree. Let's just agree that we disagree. Okay? I like dividend stocks because they're predictable. If they increase in value, I know exactly what to do. I've been doing this long enough that it works for me. Now, litmus. I'm kind of curious. You don't like dividends? Great. Have you increased your portfolio 50% per year for the last 15 years? I'm kind of curious. Have you increased 50% per year for the last 15 years? Dividends say nothing about the expected returns. You're absolutely right. But the question was, have you increased your portfolio 50% every single year for the past 15 years? It's a simple question. It's a yes/no question. Okay? You got to be a Democrat because Democrats have a tendency to avoid facts and just, not answer questions. It's a no factor. So I'm saying that's a no. If you can't answer a question, you either got to be a politician or it's a no. Okay? So think about it. Instead of being so negative and so pessimistic, open up your mind and ask the question. If I buy a stock on Monday, I sell a covered call against it on Monday, and I get 1% return for that week. And then the next week, week number 2, I do the exact same thing with a different stock. And then I get another 1%. So if I get 1% every single week of the year, doesn't that come to 50% or more? Non-factor, yes, I have, but I'm unique. I was early Bitcoin investor. My retirement, I'm in global. I have no idea what that means. Well, good for you. They do say the sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while. Okay? Out of all the people on the planet, how many people invest in Bitcoin and are rich? Not a lot. I have increased my portfolio by a lot more than that. I got in Bitcoin when it was 99 each. Good for you. Okay? What are you doing here then? I ran out of characters, cheap globally diversification index. Well, jolly good. But does that pay 50% per year? You know what? There are a lot of different trading strategies. Okay? You got in at 98. Lovely. Wonderful. Okay? When it was at 98, when it was at 99, it didn't look appealing to me. And it still doesn't look appealing to me. And the reason it doesn't look appealing to me, because there's no guarantees and there's a lot of theft, there's a lot of dishonesty, and there's a lot of uncertainty with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of cryptocurrency. But you cannot make a safe, predictable, consistent 1% every single week without sitting in front of your computer. How can you promise that if you actually did it, you wouldn't need to sell a system? Funny thing is, you can go take a look at every single one of my videos, and there's not a single video you find where me selling anything. I'm not selling anything. I'm sharing information. You will get to a point in your life at some point, I hope you get there sooner than later, where you feel compelled to share the information you've accumulated throughout your life. Because if you don't, all that intelligence you gathered throughout your life is going to go to the grave with you. And that's a huge sin. Write a book about your experience. If you have something to share with people, it's your responsibility to share it. You don't want to share it. That's just freaking greedy. I have no problem whatsoever sharing what I know. Either believe it, don't believe it. Okay? What are you doing here? If you're so rich, why are you here? This show is growing on me. Shred, thank you. Let's keep on moving along. SRPT. But your information is misleading. Dividends are empirically proven as irrelevant. Awesome! That's awesome! Great! Now, if dividends are irrelevant, please tell me, how do I get 1% every single week without sitting in front of my computer? They have no bearing on expected returns. He has 300 plus in his other TikTok. Okay, but Litmus, you're not actually giving me the answer that I'm asking. My question is, if you know of a way where I can attain 1% every single week in 10 to 15 minutes with no risk, no simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for me to lose, how can I do it? Can't do it on Bitcoin because there's no way to get money on Bitcoin unless you sit in front of your computer all day long. Ain't no way. Funny thing is, he's silent now. He has nothing to say. A lot of insulting. You know what's great? I love insults because they say if you don't have enough negative people in the world, I'm not doing a good enough job. I love people that are negative. Bring it on. Tell me something that actually has some substance to it. Okay? So the theory is, if I can obtain 1% every single week of the year, and there's 52 weeks in the year, that is a 52% per year simple interest. Compounded is like, I think it's 64, 66. But I'm waiting for the answer. The capital value of the stocks goes down by the same as the dividend paid out. You're absolutely 100% correct. What else you got? You haven't told me how to get 1% every week safely. Come on, I'm waiting. We love and appreciate you, James. Thank you, Raffaello. You keep parroting 1% a week. Is that paid out in a dividend or earnings? No, it's neither. It's paid out in a premium, an insurance payment, an insurance premium payment on a weekly stock option. Come on, what else you got? Let's go. Let's hear it. Don't, where am I? Trade. There we go. Uh-oh. Yep, back to here. And what do we have next? While he's coming up with something good, let's see what we got. Happy Monday, everyone. SRPT. Warren, what is SRPT? SRPT. I'm not ignoring you. I'm waiting for you to come up with something else, Litmus. SRPT. What is that? Sarepta? Never heard of it. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's check out Yahoo Finance while we're waiting for Mr. Litmus to come up with his next insult or his next stroke of genius. What am I doing? No. I'm going to here. All right. And what are we looking at? SRPT. 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 All right. In insurance premium, I don't follow. Are you trading options? Yeah, see that, Litmus? You don't know everything. Okay, stock options, calls and puts, are insurance policies. They were originally created in the 1970s so that rich people didn't lose money in the stock portfolio. If you thought your stock was going to go down, you'd buy a put. As the stocks drop, the put option increases, so you don't lose any money. However, a stock option, you have to pay a premium, either a monthly premium or a weekly premium. What do we got here? Sarepta Therapeutics. There are no dividends in Sarepta. I am a CFA. I know what options are, but where is the 1% coming from? Oh my goodness. All right, so SRPT is going to be a no. Hold on a second. I haven't forgotten you. What one did we come up with? We came up with a good one. Apple. Ooh, let's take a look at Apple. PL. Apple. Okay. Robert, can I sell stock in an actual EX dividend date and still get the dividend? No. Okay? In order for you to collect the dividend on a dividend stock, you have to buy the stock before the EX dividend date, and you cannot sell it until after the date of record in order to collect the dividend. Shrad, I've been selling puts on Tesla. Works well, except when Elon loses his shit. I got that one. Many stocks that, yes, tonight. Yes, we have. Hold on, I'm still on litmus here. You're a CFA. Okay, great. And you have no idea where the 1% is coming from? Let's check this out. Now, you're familiar with Apple. AAPL. 30 days ago, here's the high, 212. It dropped down to 194. Jumped back up. We're currently sitting at 201. So just for the fun of it, let's buy it at 200. Okay? Let's buy it at the current price. Oh, it's 202.50. Here it is, right? 202.50. You seeing that? 202.50. Shake your head if it's yes. Okay. So the current price is 202.50. So if I buy 100 shares at 202.50, right? I now have the ability to sell my 100 shares of Apple at 202.50. It's called a covered call. Selling a call option for somebody to buy this stock from me at this price by this date. Okay? 13 June 2025 to 205. So if I'm buying it 202.50, selling it at 202.50, I'm not making a damn thing, am I? Hold on. Don't jump the gun. Let's get rid of this. Let's go here. Go to covered call. Covered call 202.50 right here. Now, I'm just going to do one contract so you can follow along, considering you are a CFA. Is that right? Hold on. All right, hold on. You're a CFA. So see if you can follow along if you're a CFA. Now, mark it and confirm and send. Okay, I'm going to read it slowly, litmus, so you can follow along. Ready? I am going to buy one covered call of Apple stock, AAPL. 100, that is the weekly. 13 June 25. That means 13 June 25. Okay? That means someone has the right to buy it from me at 202.50, exact same price I just paid for it, anytime between now, tomorrow morning, and the 13th of June, which is this Friday. So they got 4 days. 4 days to do something. Hold on. Not done yet. Don't jump the gun. 202.50 call option against the Apple stock at the market to open to open. Now, the reason it says to open, just in case you don't understand, means I'm doing two trades. I'm buying the stock. I'm selling the option. That's two trades. Okay? Now, if you read this a little closer, maximum profit, $260. That's the $260 premium that I am collecting as an insurance payment for the person who wants to buy the stock from me anytime between now and Friday. It's called a stock option premium. $260. That's what it is. So, you're a CFA, so you should understand this rather quickly. We're going to take out our calculator, and we're going to take the profit, $260, and we're going to divide it by what it cost for that trade, for that 100 shares of Apple. Well, it's costing me $19,990 to make $260. Follow along. I'm slowing down. Okay, divided by $19,990. Now, you ready? That, my friend, is 1.3%. It's not 1%, it's 1.3%. But hold on a second. I'm not done yet. That is if it is an all-cash account. Hypothetically speaking, if I had a margin account, I can get a little better return. So let's see what that is. Clear that. The profit is still the same, $260 for the contract. Okay, I'm going to divide it by right here. Buying power effect. So this is a margin account. So in a margin account, I only have to put up half the amount of money, and the broker puts up the other half. Don't panic. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I know what you're thinking. Okay, $9,865. So let's do the math there. Profit is still the same, 260, divided by, okay, buying power effect, which is the amount of cash I get to come up with in a margin account. So, divided by 9,865. So, just in case you missed it, it's 2.6% for 1 week. Now, let's go over the bad part about it. Well, number one, the bad part about it is its margin, which means I'm borrowing that money from someone. I'm borrowing it from my broker. Now, my broker charges me 8% per year. However, if I'm making 1% every week, which is 50% per year, and I'm paying 8% per year to borrow that money, well, I'm thinking, as a CFA, well, if I'm paying 8%, I'm making 50, I'm profiting 42% on borrowed money. That's about right, correct? Now, I also understand the risks involved. What happens if the stock goes down? Well, okay, let's take a look if the stock goes down. If Apple goes down, and it does, it goes up, it goes down, we all know that. So if it drops, what am I going to do? Well, I still get to keep this 260. And if it's 202.49 come Friday, well, I still own the stock, and I still collected that money. And then next week, I can do another covered call and pick up another 1 or 2 or 3%. Okay? Now, I know that you do cryptocurrency, and you're okay with it, and you're a CFA, and I don't understand why you don't know this. If I can make 1% a week, borrowed money, I can make 2 or 3% a week. Why is it you don't understand that? So, let's see what you had to say to that one. Robert, can I sell a stock on the actual EX dividend? Yes, you can, but you won't get the dividend. Whoever owns a stock on the date of record, entitled to the dividend. You just wait an extra day. Shrad, I'm willing to put, okay, Tesla, yeah, we did that one. Okay, we did that one. Yeah.
I think you have to repeat that like one more time for the CFA's last ideas that you're sharing here. Maybe go a little slower.
Go, okay. Litmus, do I need to go a little slower? Okay, Litmus says, covered calls limit the upside, and you have to be holding the stock unless you're leveraged. Okay, now you're under the impression that I care about the upside. I honestly could care less about the upside. So you're a latecomer here. I'm not looking for capital appreciation. I'm looking for cash flow. Okay, cash flow, not capital appreciation. What's the ACE buy tomorrow? I have no idea what that means. Okay, so Litmus, what else you got to say? Yeah, I'm aware that it limits the upside. I could care less about the upside. You missed that part. There are still risks. It limits your upside. Okay, so let me see if I can say this slower so you understand. I don't care about the upside. I'm not looking for capital appreciation. I'm looking for cash flow. You also pay taxes or any income. No, I do not pay taxes, because if my account is in a corporate account, if it's in a corporate account, it's taxed as income to the corporation at corporate levels. Also, the profits are offset. I want me to go slower. Melatonin. Okay, melatonin, you know this is recorded, so you can go back and listen to it. So yeah, taxes ordinary income depending on how the account is held. If it is held in a corporation, is taxed at a corporate level. Profits of one part of the corporation can be offset by losses of the other part of the corporation. Also, if it is in the, hold on a second, let me think of this, right word, pension. If it is in the corporation's pension fund, there's no taxes on it until it's taken out. Also, if it is in a private foundation or a private trust, no taxes. So whatever you want to say, whatever you have to say, make sure it's something other than what everyone else has already said. So you're saying basically everything someone else has already said to me over the last 15 years. Okay? Options is a zero-sum game. There's someone just as convinced on the other side of the trade. You're absolutely 100% correct. That's what I'm counting on. Okay? I buy a stock as it's ready to go back up. There are literally, how many? Hold on a minute. Let's go out of there, out of there, out of there, back to here, and back to here, and what do we have here? All right, here we go. Okay, litmus, you're 100% correct. However, my 2, 3, 4, 500 shares got nothing to do whatsoever out of the 72,862,000 shares traded on this stock just today. So my 3, 4, 500 shares are insignificant compared to the 72.8 million shares that were traded today. So you're going to have to come at me with something a little bit better, a little bit deeper than what you have. Because what you've said, I've heard it many times before. And just because you're a CFA, CPA, don't mean squat to me. Okay, what else we got? Oh, he's quiet now. Anyway, how about UNH? Oh my goodness. Now UNH, let's take a quick look at it. University of New Hampshire, UNH. It was 600 a couple of months ago. Now it dropped down to 250. Now it's at 303. Explain to me what you think is so great about UNH. Now, I don't do UNH because it just doesn't fit. I don't do stocks over 250 because it just doesn't make sense. If I can get a better return on a $30, $40, $50 stock, why would I look at a $300 to $600 stock? Think about it. Okay, when this baby falls from 600 down to 250, that had to hurt. But I understand it. You know, from 600 to 300, that's a 50% drop. It's the same as a $20 stock dropping down to 10. It just doesn't feel as bad. I don't know. You own SoFi. Brian, awesome. Melatonin, best informative, humorous broadcast today. You know what? I have no problem whatsoever if you will disagree with me. That's great. I have no problem with that. But at least come to me with something with some substance. Everything you said, Litmus, so far doesn't mean anything to me because I gave you answers and I gave you the objections. You just might not like them. Now, okay, fine, wonderful. You made money on Bitcoin. Good for you. Me, personally, don't care. Okay? I'm 61. I'm retired. I don't have the luxury of being wrong. So I've been doing this long enough where I don't want to be wrong and I don't want to go back to work. So in order for me not to have to go back to work, I got a funny story. Not a funny story, it's a sad story. I bought a boat to go cruising down to the Caribbean. I came down to work on the boat, Florida, and I was putting fuel in my van. And the guy pulled up next to me, nice car, Lincoln Continental, all black, tinted windows, sharp-looking suit, had the a logo on it. He was just coming from some kind of a club, country club or yacht club, whatever it was. Sharp-looking dude. And we just started talking. I talk to everybody. I love talking to people. Anyway, guy's 84 years old. And I said, you just come back from work? He says, yeah. I said, cool. I suppose you got a job to get out of the house. Give you something to do. He says, no, I have to work. I said, wait a second. You're 84 and you have to work to pay bills? Yeah, I don't want to be that dude. Now, I don't mind working to get out of the house and finding something to do. But I don't want to have to go to work to have to go to work. Hope you're fast enough when it speeds up. Okay, I honestly don't know what that means. Okay, hope I'm fast enough as in running. I still play soccer, so I'm pretty fast enough. I can keep up with the guys in the 20s and 30s. Not so much below 20, because those guys, they just run forever. There's this one kid, I think he's like 16 or 17. I have a hard time keeping up. I'm 61. I have a hard time keeping up with a 16-year-old. Okay, when you're 61, you tell me if you keep up. So the fast enough, when it speeds up. I have no idea when it speeds up. What does that mean? When it speeds up. Well, what are we talking about? Are we talking about my car? Are we talking about my computer? Are we talking about my phone? Are we talking about the wind speed? What are we talking about? What speeds up? Okay? I prefer it when people actually give me full, coherent sentences that I can actually understand and follow. Because there's a lot of context missing in those little words. Hope you're fast enough when it speeds up. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, let's keep on going. UNH. Now, I don't like UNH. I own SoFi. So, Brian, SoFi. Why? Wait, didn't we look at SoFi a little earlier? 14, SoFi. Let's go over to here. SoFi, S-O-F-I. How well does SoFi actually pay its dividends? Okay, SoFi Technologies. Oh, that's why I don't try SoFi. There are no dividends in the selected time period. Okay, so how do you know? Okay, it's a question. How do you know if SoFi has 2 decades of consistent profitability? You got to look at the 20 years of annual reports. And then you got to watch it and wait for it to move. The steamroller. Well, terribly sorry, dude, but the steamroller, the roads here have been paved for decades. So there's no steamrollers coming where I live. Ooh, Gap. So anyway, SoFi, no. No dividends, no thank you. Now, the only reason I like the dividends for a couple of reasons. Number one, they share their profits. Number two, it saves me from reading the quarterly reports and the annual reports. Because if the dividend consistently increases, that means the profits consistently increase. Because in 1602, the creators of the stock market, they said, hey, let's create a company so that we can dominate the world trade. It was the Dutch East India Shipping Company. The very first company to offer dividends to the general public, to the peasants. So they went door to door, knocked on the door, say, hey, we got a deal for you. You invest in our company, and we promise to share the profits with you. Okay, so the shipping company, the VOC, Dutch East India Shipping Company, lasted for 198 years, and they paid an average of 18% per year for 198 years. Chasing dividends is like bragging about getting your own money back minus taxes. Litmus. Come on. Now, you're a CFA, okay? I'm kind of hoping you have better commentary than this, okay? And I'm not chasing dividends, by the way. See, you weren't paying attention. You have that little narrative going on in your own head. You thinking that I'm looking at dividend. I'm not. I'm looking at dividend stocks for the consistency of profitability. Okay? If they're consistently profitable, the dividends will increase every single year after year after year after year. Okay? Anyway, but I agree with you. That's kind of like paying your taxes and you brag about, hey, I got this money back in taxes. Well, it's your own damn money. You borrow money to pick up pennies in front of a steamroller. It's all very clear. Oh, so that's where the steamroller thing comes in. Picking up pennies. Well, let me think if I can think of it this way. Hold on a second, because you haven't seen this yet. Just for the fun of it. Let's do this. Let's go back here. Let's go right there. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. Okay, so litmus. You ready? Now, I say I get 7 accounts. I share 3 of them publicly. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Note. Beginning balance, January 1st. Account 3, 114. Account 2, 143. Account 1, 151. So just for the fun of it, let's go back, because like I said, I share all my trades. Now, you're saying pennies, pennies, pennies. I love it. Pennies. Pennies. Okay, so week 1, quarter 1, December 30th to January 3rd. Okay? Here's all my trades. Riot, Halliburton, Riley, CVS, Foot Locker, Kohl's, U.S. Steel, Walgreens. Oops. Shit. There we go. Okay. 4,839. Week number 1. 4,839. That's not pennies. Okay? Okay? Second account, 2,634. That's not pennies either. 9,331. 9,341. Account number 1. Can you check out Pepsi? We looked at Pepsi earlier today. So litmus, you're saying pennies. My idea of pennies is $9,000. I'll bend over and pick up $9,000. I have no problem with that. 2,600. No problem picking up 2,600 in a week and 4,800 in that week. I'm not quite sure where the pennies are coming in. Okay, so you have something in your mind that you don't agree. Fine, wonderful. Come up with something better than what you're spewing. So far what you're spewing is nothing that I haven't heard already. Okay, you're not original at all. You got to come up with something better. So, Macock, investment in the grandkids is sound judgment. I showed mine accidentally in a MTG last week. You said you don't sell anything. Your Patreon is $500 a month. Yeah, but did you hear me here live or in any of my videos trying to sell anyone anything? Okay, we're all adults. Yeah, I've written 14 books. You can buy them from the website. Okay? I have training classes. I have all that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. Yeah, you want to buy it? Fine. We're all adults here. We know how it works. You want to buy something? Fine. Fine. But you don't find me here live asking people to buy something. Because I don't. I'm here sharing for free what I have. And I only do one strategy for free. The other strategies, I don't give those away for free. So you can say whatever you want. You know what? And if you don't have something good to say, you know what? My mother may not have gone to college. Well, actually, she did go to college. But she always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay? If you disagree with me, fine. Disagree. Kiki, thank you. Okay? So, if you disagree, fine. You don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. There are other people here trying to learn something. And I'm arguing with you, I must be the idiot. Because they say the one way to spot an idiot is never argue with an idiot because it's hard for people to tell who's the idiot. It's not a disagreement. It's that you're peddling nonsense when investing doesn't need to be this hard. Dude, you're under the impression that it's hard. It was created for a 9-year-old. It's simple. You're encouraging people to take on unnecessary risk. No, I'm not. I say, think it through. You know what? I'm done talking to you. You got nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. Oh my God. Look at the picture. You can tell. Privileged little snot-nosed kid. Never probably worked a day in his life. Bought Bitcoin because he thought it was cool. Made a lot of money. Now he thinks he knows everything. I'm done with that nonsense. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go back to you guys who actually want to learn rather than insult me. Because he hasn't come up with anything good to say. All right, what else we got here? UNH, we looked at. Bro just got Sigmund. Okay, thank you. Ooh, Mike wants to take a look at Pfizer, PFE. Let's get out of here. Pfizer, PF. I love Pfizer, PFE. Ooh, nice jump. I'm going to say no to Pfizer only because right here, it already made the jump. Look at the last 30 days. Okay? You have the high, you have the low, up, down, up. Okay, great. 23.97. Right there. Here's your last 30 days. What do you think? Here's the bottom. Here's the top. I don't ever buy anything at the top. That's just me. Okay? So you got to figure out, does that make sense to you? It was at 22, and now it's at 24. That's only a $2 increase. But a $2 increase on a $22 stock is almost 10%. Why would you do that? Laurie, hello. A random account, CTM. What the heck is CTM? CTM. Uh-oh. Put it in here. CTM. Oh, hell no. Dude, really? It's $1.27. You honestly think this thing has 20 years of increased dividends? It has no options. It's no. All right, so it's a past 11:30. I'm going to apologize for you guys. Certified financial accountant doesn't understand dividend investing for cash flow. Okay, fine. Okay, he got lucky, bought some Bitcoin when it was at 99. Great. Like I said, the sun does shine on a dog's ass once in a while. There are a lot of people, literally a lot of people, who bought Bitcoin at a low dollar amount and now are rich. Well, that's not available for all of us. I already blocked him, Eagle. I just got tired of the nonsense. Okay, NM. Man, everyone eyes on the main old money, the gold. When Fed will drop rates 4,000, it's there already. All right, thank you. Ooh, I like ExxonMobil. Yeah, see, ExxonMobil, let's do that. XOM. Interesting. Okay. The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Looks up, down, up, down, up. Right here, 105.50. The 105s are going for 105. Okay, so ExxonMobil would give you about 105. Why? Altria. We already looked at it earlier. Does NU have dividends? You know what? Jay Good, I didn't even look and see if NU had dividends. Let's take a look. NU Holdings. Sorry, there are no dividends in the selected time period for NU. So, no. Now, why? We already looked at Altria. APLD, I'm asking everything you say. I'm taking everything you say into consideration for day trades tomorrow. Okay, so random account, I don't give advice, I don't give tips, and I don't encourage anybody to do this. I encourage people to do some research, to think about what it is and does it make sense. That's my... what do we have here? Scotty Cook, what's going on? Kevin, what's going on? All right, I always encourage people, do your own homework. Well, does it make sense? Well, either it does or it doesn't. If it does make sense, check out the details. Is what I'm saying true? Or am I full of it? I'm not trying to sell you anything. You have not once heard me say anything about buying anything. Looks like the big short guy. Thanks, Q. APLD. I'm taking everything. Okay, got that one. APLD. What the heck is that? APLD. Is that Applied something? Oh, Applied Digital. Oh, hell no. Okay? A couple of weeks ago, we were at $3. Okay? This week, last week, 15. Goes from 3 to 15. Okay, think about this. Now, it could be a great swan song 10, 15, 20 years from. Yeah, I bought it back in 2020, 2025 when it was $4. Now it's at whatever. If you want to hold on to it, fine. But I won't be buying something with that kind of movement. Not me. Brian, QQQ, where you look at that one easier. Explain a covered 3 cloud defense. Ooh. Warren Buffett the barber. I have no idea what that means. Speak more on Warren Buffett. Why? Brian, QQQ, explain it to me. Kate. Now, we're already past 11:30. So I'm just going to go and answer the questions that we got. Let's keep on moving. Okay, what's my net worth? Thank you. What are your qualifications? Qualifications for what? What does any of this have to do with Mara? You danced around the question. You haven't increased your portfolio by 50% for 15 years. Okay. This guy is trolling. Okay. Don't take financial advice on YouTube. I'm going to agree with you 100%. Don't take, I'm not, this is not advice. See, I find it interesting that people like to insert words that I never said in claiming that I said them. I don't give advice. I don't give tips. I take what you ask, APLD, and I look at it. high, low, was, is, all that kind of nice, neat stuff. And then I come over here and say, if I am going to do a covered call on this is what I'm going to get. That's what I do. Whether or not you or any of you guys decide to do it or question it, that's up to you. I don't give advice. Okay? I look at the numbers, I look at the strategy, and I give you my opinion. That's it. Don't need a university to know how to listen and be cordial. Listening helps. JC, thank you very much. That was a good thing. Which stocks to buy with good dividends? Kiki, if you want to chat, send me your number. I'll give you a call. I say that every night. If you want to have a call and chat with me, I'm all for it. Send me your number. I'll give you a call. I won't pawn it off to someone else. I personally will give you a call. Anything specific you're watching tomorrow? What was the outcome on ExxonMobil? Ooh, ExxonMobil. Didn't we say something about ExxonMobil? XOM. All right. High, low, all that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. Last 30 days, ExxonMobil, blah, 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 blah. Right there. Last 30 days. Here we go. The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Up, down, sideways, and then up. The 104, looking at the 105s, 105 even. 105 even. Okay, so let's take a look. What does the 105 look like? 105 right there. One contract at 105. Here we go. Buy one covered call, ExxonMobil 100. 13 June 25. That means the option is going to expire this coming Friday. Okay, the 105 call option against the XOM stock at the market to open. We're doing two orders, a stock order and an option order, both together. This is the profit, 81 bucks. What it's going to cost? 10 grand. 10 grand to make 81 bucks. Well, you're not paying 10 grand to make 81 bucks. You're buying a portion of the corporation ExxonMobil. You own, once you buy it, you own part of the company. You are entitled to a portion of their profits. You will own it until the day you decide to sell it. And why would you ever sell it for less than what you paid for it? Well, ask yourself this question. If I'm paying 10 grand, I'm getting $81, let's say hypothetically every single week. Well, let's see what that looks like. Break out my calculator. Okay, if the profit's 81 bucks, right, and it's costing me $10,419 in order to make that $81 every single week, let's say hypothetically every single week, that comes a grand total of 0.77%. That's not even 1%. So I'm saying, no to ExxonMobil because the number is just not working for us this week. But don't get me wrong. I love ExxonMobil, and I have bought it many times in the last 10, 15 years. But not this week. Because this week, that number doesn't look very appealing to me. Especially when we're looking at Kohl's 4.7, Apple 2%, Riley. This week, Riley 5%. For Riley, 5%. All right. Don't. V. More rich Bitcoin people than people who make 50% per year for the last 15 years. Thank you, V. I appreciate that. Word salad. Gotta love that one, too. Yo, whip that thing out. Let's see it swing. All right, Dan, that's a little disturbing, but all right. Did you ask someone why they're here if they made so much money? Why are you here if you make 50% or more for the last 15 years? Oh, V, here you go. You ready? Listen closely, V, because I say this every night. Number one, I'm not here from you. I'm not here to sell you anything. Okay? That's two things right there. 3, I'm here to make a video diary for my children and my grandchildren. Okay? I got videos going all the way back to 2012. Okay? I got over 1,000 videos. Okay? Specifically for my children and my grandchildren. And also, at some point in your life, you're probably not there yet, because if you were there yet, you wouldn't be asking me this question. At some point in your life, some people, such as myself, feel compelled to share the knowledge they have accumulated over the years. So I think it would be a travesty to take what I have learned over the last 30, 40 years of my life to the grave with me. So I'm sharing them here with the hopes that my children and grandchildren will watch, say, hey, how did Papa G make all that money? Okay? Also, okay, this part is I find this part to be freaking funny as hell. Okay? In order for any of my offspring, okay, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, or anyone further down, to get anything from the estate that I am in the process of building, they have to prove to the executor of the estate that they know what to do with the money before they get it. Okay? And one of the stipulations is going to be, you will have access to X amount of dollars. If you make money for X amount of dollars, you can have, let's say, 90% of the profits. The other 10% goes back into the estate. Okay, so if they don't make any money, they don't get any money. So they have access to millions of dollars to trade on a weekly or monthly basis. And they get to spend 90% of whatever they make, if they can prove to the executor of the estate that they can do it. So that's what these videos are for my children and my grandchildren. Okay? And you did not hear me once say anything about selling you anything. Okay? I'm sharing my information, making a video log for my children and grandchildren. And I'm sharing with those people that find it appealing. Okay? Okay, so melatonin. No to ExxonMobil because the numbers just don't look good. With some of the comments tonight, it must be a full moon. How are you doing tonight, Laurie? Hope everything's good. Okay, so V, I hope that answered that question. Hi, Mike. You are sharing only the upsides of your strategy and never speak of the downside. Mike, thank you kindly for that. Just to let you know, Mike, I said earlier, I have 7 accounts. I share 3 of them publicly. Out of the 3 accounts I share publicly, I have 3 losses. We are in week number 23 of the year. Okay, and I showed you how many trades I have made. Where is it? Right here. Okay, take a look. Week 1, look at all those trades. Okay. Okay, not much in this one. Oops, and over this one. Okay. Every single week, I trade 7 accounts. Okay. Out of those 3 that I share publicly, I have 3 losses. Only 3 this year. Okay. Let me think. Hold on. Riley, Altria, and Harley Davidson. That's it. 3 losses this year. I literally make over 100 trades a week. Okay, that's week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to where we are now, week number 22, 23, something like that. Okay, so yeah, I do share the upside and the downside. He left because you're full of it. Thank you, V. What are your dreams and aspirations? You're asking the wrong person. He can't be a CFA and ask that question. He probably can. I don't know. For anyone that wants the answers, the risk of this strategy is the same as holding the shares. If the stock drops and he can't sell the next week's option for as much as he previously did. I never said I did. Did I? Did I say I trade every single week and make the exact same amount every single week? No, I didn't say that. Okay, there's over 1,000 videos on YouTube. You find one where I actually guarantee anything, or I actually say I make a guaranteed amount every single week. I said, no, I average about 1% a week. Okay, 3.92, 1.76, 1.4. You can take a look at every single one. Okay, 2.74, 1.92. Oh, look at this one. 0.65. This is one of the ones I took a loss on that week. 0.65. I only made $1,100 that week in this account. Okay, 1.3, 1.1, 2.08, 3.6, 1.1, 1.4, blah, blah, blah. They're all there. I share every single trade that I make in these 3 accounts. Okay? Okay, here's the date, the timestamp, what kind of a trade it was, how many there was, what the stock it was, what the strike price there was, and was it a credit or a debit. They're all there. Okay, I'm not trying to sell you anything, so I don't see what the problem is. Okay, V, his point is that you're not getting 1% per week. You're absolutely right. Look at this. Okay, these are all the trades. And this week here, I made 4.4%. See, I know how to do the math. Okay? I started out the week, start the week, 229,000 in this account right here. The profit this week in this account, these trades right here, you can add them up yourself, came to $10,000, $10,087. You divide the profit by the starting amount, and you get a 4.4% return. Okay, the numbers are right there. If you know how to add, subtract, divide, all that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff, fine, have at it. Do I make 1% every week? No. I missed 1 week. 7 accounts, okay? I missed 1 week, okay? I just showed it to you. I forget what it was. But no, see, this week, 4.4, 0.8. Look at this. I didn't make 1% that week. $1,690. 0.8%. This one here, 3.82. Does it work every single time? No, I don't make 1% every single time. Okay, 3.8, 0.8, 4.4. You take a look at each one. They're all there. Okay, oh, I haven't done that one yet. 4.2, 3.6, 3.1. The math is there. Do the math yourself. Don't whip that tip. Only downside is the capital you have to invest to roll when the stock appreciates too fast. Yes, you are 100% correct. Because when you buy a stock, okay, and you sell a covered call against it and it goes up, you miss out on that appreciation. But that's not what I'm looking for. And you also have the ability to roll forward. Now, rolling forward, if the stock does come into a compromising situation, I can change the strike price. I can change the expiration date. I can push it off as far as I want. And as a matter of fact, I had one account that had a margin call. Remember when when Trump said something about the tariffs and the stock market dropped? Well, that stock market drop triggered 2 margin calls. 2. So I don't like throwing more money at a problem. So I took the options that I had and I had to roll them forward, I think 8 weeks. 8 weeks. So I missed the opportunity 8 weeks, and though I think it was like four positions. I had to roll 4 positions 8 weeks out in order to cover that margin call. So yeah, there are risks involved. You do have to put some time in it. All right, let's keep on going. Berkshire Hathaway's latest holdings files does not show any merit. Thank you. Perhaps it was held at one time, but since sold. Probably. Zelvesta. What app or website would you suggest for day trading? I don't day trade, so I honestly don't have an answer to that question. Sorry. Why you shouldn't buy a boat unless you're set? I take boats and I convert them to solar electricity in my spare time. It's one of those side projects I do. Okay, so down here in Florida, the sunshine state, if the sun is shining, solar panels collect all the energy, put it into a battery bank with a couple of charge controllers and all that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. Yeah, sun is shining, I get a free ride. Okay? When the motors and transmissions go on boats, people just give them away because they don't want to pay for new motors. Well, fine. I just whip in a couple electric motors and I'm off to go. V. GT Jack, no. The downside is literally the downside. If price depreciates, then he loses there and the premiums on the options decrease too. He won't get his 1% of the cost. Thank you very much, V. I knew that, and I do say that. Okay? SOXL, no. Sorry. Tyler, do you only trade dividend stocks? Basically, yes. Not if he sells in the money calls, sucks out the premium, and gets protection on the downside. But your point is also valid. If he picks a loser stock, it doesn't work. Thank you, GT. You're right. Big fan. I wouldn't take advice from this guy. Neither would I. It's not advice. And you shouldn't either. Thank you very much. GT, get it. Great. GT Jack, never. God, love it. But it's all founded on well-proven strategy, but every strategy has a weakness. You're absolutely right, it does. Knowing when to switch up strategies for the unique market conditions is called experience and wisdom. Thank you, Jack. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and one thing you cannot buy with no matter how much money you got is wisdom. You make enough stupid mistakes, you learn. You collect wisdom. Okay? Thank you for your time and knowledge. You're welcome, Frenchie. Trump forever, thank you. What do you think of trading orb strategy? Never heard of it. Okay, so TKBFN. Now, the reason why I say I never heard of the orb strategy, because once you find something that works, why would you do something else? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Simple. Why Walgreens? No poor financial consistency, earnings, losses, no dividends. Robert, you're absolutely 100% correct. Okay? Now, we stopped trading. Now, we traded Walgreens for almost a whole year last year. Made a ton of money on Walgreens because everything looked good last year. This year, we don't trade Walgreens anymore because once they had that buyout, now the options and the premiums just aren't any good. But you're right. It's always going to be about the numbers. What did I buy it for? What strike price did I sell? What premium did I collect? Is it 1% or more? Great. Okay, what happens on Thursday and Friday? Well, the options expire on Friday, so what am I going to do? Okay, great. Well, what did I buy it for? What did I sell? Where is it at now? What do I do? There's always a way to do something with the situation that you're in. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Norway Lake. Good evening. Good evening. How about ABT, Abbott Labs? Gotta love it. Altria. Yep. Did you get in on Kohl's recently? No, I've had Kohl's, some of it since last year. Okay, Moto FL, Misty. I don't do Misty because it's not even, 2 years old yet? MMEX, never heard of it. Ryan, Kohl's seems great for dividends at these prices. It does. Take a look. Now, if you're going to do Kohl's, do yourself a favor. Go to Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, or whatever financial website you want to look at. Check the earnings per share. Check the revenue per share. Check the book value. Because the book value gives you the actual value of the company. What assets, hard assets, do they own that they could turn around and sell? Okay? So there's a lot of numbers, a lot of factors you got to take into consideration. VFVA. I'll have to take a look at tomorrow. Edgar, Bitto. I did Bitto years ago. Ooh, Microsoft, love it. Moto, yes. MLM? No. What's your ROI gain this year? Now, DJ, I've got 7 accounts, so you got to be more specific. But the 3 that I share, the 3 accounts that I share, okay, account 1, it's up 57% since the beginning of the year. Account 2, up 46% since the beginning of the year. Account 3, up 63% since the beginning of the year. That's cash flow coming in. Okay? Yeah, Misty is a monthly and over 100% annual consistency. Moto, if you take a look at Misty, ask yourself this question. Okay, Misty has 125% yield, which means they're paying out 125% of their profits. That makes no sense whatsoever. How long do you think they can pay out 125% of what they bring in? That makes no sense whatsoever because you cannot sustain that number. Anyway, BFEA, okay, Moto, the price keeps on getting decreasing, blah, blah, blah. I agree it's wild to pay a dividend from income from option sales. Yeah, could be. Wow, that's awesome. Teaching kids how to dollar cost average. Thank you. Hello, fella. Hey, Fin friends. Dude, we got to chat. I want to see what you got for a setup for your aquarium. Oh, that's what YieldMax does. Yeah, but YieldMax hasn't been around for 20 years either. I don't do companies that aren't consistently profitable for at least 2 decades. That's 20 years. Misty's a no. They sell covered calls to generate income to pay dividends. Yeah, I get that. It's a great strategy. Yep. Hood, gotta love it. SCHD, I don't like it. Take a look at the numbers. Okay, Bello, good evening. Live Dollar General, love Dollar General. Is this AI or something? Fin friends, no, it's not. Tell your thoughts on UNC. What the heck is UNC? There's my thoughts. What the heck is UNC? Okay, back to the beginning. Here we are. What the heck is UNC? UNC. Well, see, that's never a good sign. If you put UNC and it can't find it. Okay, these are U.S. stocks. Is UNC, okay. Aren't you having to pay 20% plus on taxes? Oh my God, I love it when people talk about taxes. YWBA, we already talked about that one. Thank you, Robert, you're welcome. Okay, can you walk us through your indicators and tools you use currently? Okay, you ready? Diggity, 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 diggity. Interesting name. Here's my 2 criteria, only 2. 1, consistency of profitability. Is the company consistently profitable for at least 2 decades? That's 20 years. That's it. That's one indicator. Second indicator is weekly options. Okay, versus Jobs. Is he reading the chat? No, he's not reading the chat. If you can hear me, can you say something, please? Okay, Fin friends, I'm saying something, please. Where are we? Don't. Is he reading the chat? Yes, I am. Blah, blah, blah. I read every single question. What's a good dividend stock right now? I love U.S. Steel, but it's not the right time to buy it. You will perish if you come to Vermont. Oh, King of Vermont. I love Vermont. Love it. Love your system. Thank you, Highlander. Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome, Edmund. That's right. VFC EX dividend tomorrow. Hey, Mikey G, what's happening? What are GACs? No idea what a GACs is. I don't see premium 260. Okay, Gamma, I'm not quite sure what we're talking about. Edward, Mickey, bought UNH 264. You think I should dump it and replace it with? Okay, Mickey Yuck, I can't tell you what to do. I know nothing about you. You bought UNH at 264. You've got to ask yourself, at what point do you sell? Okay, that's a question only you can answer. I couldn't walk this morning. All right. Hi, sending love from Scotland. Double jolly good out there in Scotland. How you doing? How many different stocks do you hold at a time? And how much of your money stays invested? Okay, so Brandon. Okay, before Trump came in office, 90 to 95% of my money was invested at all time. Now, don't get me wrong, love Trump, love what he's doing, okay? I don't do politics, okay? I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I'm a common senser. No idea what that means, okay? If it's common sense, if it makes sense, yeah, I'm all for it, okay? However, now that Trump is in office, I only invest about 75 to 80% of my money because the DTS, TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. If Trump says something, people panic, stocks drop, and you have to have a buffer because all my accounts are margin accounts. Because I've been doing this long enough, I don't mind margin, okay? I don't suggest anybody to do margin unless you understand the risks involved. And there are quite a bit of risks involved, okay? And you got to keep that in mind, okay? So most of my, actually all my accounts are margin accounts. But I do keep a larger cushion nowadays because Trump is going to do something, people are going to panic, and stocks are going to drop. and I don't want to get another margin call. I think I've got like 4 or 5 margin calls this year. And last year I got none. No margin calls last year. This year I gotten 4 so far, I think. 4 or 5. Anyway. Hi, sending love from Scotland. Got it. Couldn't watch this one. James, your plan is simple and pays well. Don't worry about boneheads. Okay, hug Tony. I don't. But Tony, there's an old saying. If you don't have enough haters, you're not working hard enough. So I don't mind the haters, because a lot of people, they're stuck in their own head and they think what they think is correct, whether it's correct or not. But there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no yes, there is no no. It is whatever you want it to be. So whatever you believe, you're perfectly acceptable to believe whatever you want. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. You could think something totally wrong, and as long as you believe it, it becomes true for you. Okay? So the dude over there on the other TikTok channel, he thought what he was saying was right. And he's 100% correct for his line of thinking. Okay? He's a cryptocurrency dude. And he says he's a CFA. He's a CFA, which boggles my mind that he doesn't understand simple math. Which is, okay, fine by me. I don't judge anyone on what they say. Just because he doesn't agree with me doesn't mean, he's wrong. Because he's right for him. He's not right for me. Because I know what I'm doing is right for me. And I don't tell any people that it's right for you guys. You guys it's up to you to figure out what is right for you. Okay, the stocks I trade may not be right for you. The stocks you guys trade might not be right for me. Talk radio, Golden News Talk. What's happening? Okay, let's keep on going. I'm almost done with this. Best showed I've had for sure, easily. You know how to slang. OMG, daddy, yeah, okay. Maribet, Ford. We didn't look at Ford tonight, but we can take a look at it tomorrow. I want to do this, but won't my taxes offset the profits big time? Let me talk to you that. Hold that thought for a second. Hi, sending love from Scotland. Got it. The old trader. How you doing? Okay, so user 5594. I'm going to call you Peter. Okay? I don't know what your parents were thinking naming you that, but all right. I want to do this, but won't taxes offset my profits? Okay, so this is not, it's kind of advice. Okay? If you're worried about taxes, you need to communicate with a tax strategist or a tax planner. It is your legal right to pay little to no taxes as legally as possible. Okay? So if you put your stock trading account in your own personal name, you will have the highest amount of taxes. But if you put it into a corporation, an LLC, or a pension fund or an LLC, then you are taxed at corporate levels. And depending where or what state you incorporate in will also depict on what taxes you pay. Or you can put it into a trust or a family, hold on. What's another word? A family trust or a family foundation. Okay? Talk to a tax strategist on how to set up your trading account. But if you put it in your own name, yeah, you're going to pay a lot. Maya, good to see you. All right. Low battery. Let's switch this over. Blue Veracity. Litmus Steelmate. Well, found a way around that one, didn't you? Okay. I don't English speak. Old trader. Hello, sir. I'm a Protex trader. Don't even know what that is. I like how you wore that little red... Oh, lovely, Maya. Okay. AG. Eric, what is AG? I have no idea what that is. Oh, Litmus, you're just another grifter selling smoke mirrors and worthless option snake oil. Hey, hope the commissions ease your conscience. Thank you kindly. Another Griffin cake. Got it. Wonderful. Dooley, thank you for that Dooley drama. Because, see, I don't remember actually trying to sell anything. Okay? You have not heard me once say anything for sale. Nothing. Yes, he has books and Patreon. Yeah, I do. I've written 14 books. What's wrong with writing 14 books? But did you hear me once say anyone should buy them? No. Oh, boy. Okay. Don't. I am a scam artist. Wonderful. Thank you for your input. Eric. American Airlines looked good so far. Second month. Cool beans. Buckle workable. I have no idea what that means. Quantum antenna. Good evening. Haven't seen you in the past couple of days. APO. Any good? Don't know. APO. What is APO? APO. Apollo 131. Apollo Global Management. Interesting. So APO. I go right to here. APO. Okay, what kind of dividends does APO have? Okay. Ooh, check that out. Uh-oh. 2011. Not quite 20 years, but let's take a look at the numbers. 22, 24, 20. That's going backwards. That doesn't make sense. 46, 25. That's going backwards twice. 24, 3 times. 40, 105, 57, 4 times. 132, 101, 5 times. 108, 84, 6 times. 46, 7 times. 73, 86, 33. No thank you. Sorry. APO goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. I'm not looking for something like that. I'm looking for something that has consistency and profitability. What software platform are you using to review company data? Okay, this is Yahoo Finance. It's free to use. Just, type in whatever it is you're looking for. Oh, Pistetta, good evening. How many platforms? So, why so many platforms? Can't you just go on what platform and keep it simple? Yeah, I could. Thank you for your input. Okay, it's past 11:30. Okay, I usually go from 9 until 11:30. We're way past that, so you guys have a great night, and we will see you again tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Alrighty. So you guys over here, have fun. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. And you guys over here, you guys have fun. Chat with you in the morning. You guys, have a good day. Uh-oh. And now, the end is near. And so I face. Tomorrow night, guys, same time, same channel. Okay, 16,000. Holy cow. Okay, you guys here? Do you have WhatsApp? No, I do not use WhatsApp. Would you rather watch a tree grow? What software? Yep, nerd alert. Yeah. And now, thank you, you're welcome. Oh, come on. Confirm. Done here. Alrighty. Why? Oh, why is there we go. And there we go. And now.